Hello.
So I just got alerted to this from the admin of the group of Find Taylor, and I'm just like, what the hell is going on?
So I'm just sharing a post that his father shared,
his dad was unhinged at the time. I've got his son next to me, his other son, and his daughter's tried ringing him to say, you're off your nut, Dad. I am clean, and I have been clean for a very long time. I am in the house share because we got made homeless because Alex went and moved in with another woman.
Right, stop. So, first lie. All right, so now we have, at the first moment when she was telling me all this stuff, I didn't know any of this stuff is true. So we had to go and verify. So Alex did not meet another woman and then they lost a house. Her and Alex broke up ages before this, and she was with another man, and they moved into her mum's property in Bishop Taw, wasn't it, or Barton Taw I think it was. They moved in together in the mum's property with the nan, Taylor's nan. The nan stayed for a period of months, and at that point it had been turned into a drug den, and Nan was scared, so she moved into an apartment by herself, leaving Zoe and the kids in that house. At some point there was a lot of drug activity in that house, including the smoking of crack. And local people, including local people that later went in and bulldozed that house because of the condition of it, even though it was lovely when they first moved in, that was the reason. The house then had been taken away so it could be bulldozed because the ceilings were hanging in, the floor was going in, and that's why they moved into a house share, not because of the new relationship of Dad with Liz. That seems to come after Zoe's relationship, because Zoe's relationship now with Jamie is her second or third relationship since she left the kids, since she left Alex.
So everything his dad is saying is just him ranting crap.
Right.
Jamie West is my landlord of a house there that I had to move into because we were made homeless.
I thought you lived with a nan.
No, Taylor is half the time of my nan and half the time of me.
Right. Can you turn your camera on so we can see if it's you or not? Is that okay or not?
I kind of look like shit because I have not slept since I've been searching.
We only just quickly want to see that it's you to prove that it is, otherwise I've got someone in the box who's not his mum, and we can't carry on the conversation.
It was his nan, but obviously, so she's not on camera, Frenchie. You can see the bit where she turns on her camera in a second. That's all.
Okay. Just so I can quickly confirm. That's all. Just because I have to okay.
That's me.
Okay, thank you. You can turn off the camera if you want to. I literally, all we want to do is bring home Taylor.
Yeah, I get that.
It's weird because she happily published a picture of her covered in mud leaning against the rock, but then all of a sudden she's like, oh, I don't want you to see me because I look like shit, I haven't slept. But at that point it was just about proving Taylor was your missing son. So it was always like icky from then, like of at that point. Like when I'm, say for instance, like when I'm talking about true crime, even though it's not my family, I don't give a shit what I look like. I'm talking about victims. Like I don't brush my hair most of the time. I certainly don't wear any makeup or dress myself up. Like it's not about me, it's about the victims and the stories we're telling. So it was a weird vibe.
Obviously, that's my biggest fucking thing in my whole entire world, is trying to find my son, right?
Right.
Okay.
But Alex has been defamed by all three of his children, and he's on crack, and he's talking crazy.
So Alex has been defamed by all of his children. Well, being defamed means slandered, so he's been lied about by all of his children. This is a woman who has taken law, and we know she's graduated a law degree. So she's just told us he's been defamed by all of his children. The echo.
Okay, I even feel uncomfortable.
But like, as in the people are like saying all this stuff about me when
So none of you can hear it. There's no point doing it if we can't hear it. Our mother's sound. Oh, I can't do anything about her sound. I can turn it down a little bit to try and get you to hear it, but I can't.
It sounded. There's literally nothing. Like, it's all bullshit.
You can see from our point of view when we see that
about the t-shirts thing, I put that so that there was no profit. So I put it up for trade price, and that's the best I could do. So it's no different to going to brand it and buying it. I've made it so that there's 0 pence even profit.
Right, so that is a lie, because if you get a t-shirt that's got like this printed on, which is what the t-shirts we're talking about, that she's selling Missing Taylor t-shirts at £17 each. The cost price on that, and I've checked with 4 different t-shirt companies, the cost price I was told it was in between £2.50 and £4. So you can see those the cost price with a t-shirt and the printing on it with no kind of profit at all. These companies are saying they could do it from £2.50 to four quid. So to say 17, that's a massive markup on a product.
We only really mentioned the t-shirts because the dad has mentioned the t-shirts. I think we should make money.
Yeah, I know, but but it's not about making money because I'm not getting any money. It's the fact that if people are going to go to like brand it and buy it, why not buy it from us?
Is the money not for a private investigator? Because that's what some of your people in the comments are saying. That's what the money was for.
Right. So somebody else set up this GoFundMe, right? And I had to like click a button or something, and I spent all of yesterday and today trying.
One of the mods is going to check what's going on because Top Girl Michelle keep trying to get me. They're trying to request a battle with me, and neither like me. So I'm just wondering what's going on that I don't know.
To find out how to shut down this GoFundMe. So it's not like me trying to get money. There's no bills owed. I don't owe any drug debts. I don't owe any debts. I don't have any issues. So all the stuff he's spouting off about has been quite stressful today because I was out, like he's saying that I'm writing on Facebook asking for clout for searching for my own fucking kids. No, mate. What we're doing is we're all updating each other where we've searched.
Yeah,
apparently that's me asking for clout, and then people keep asking where this picture comes from me passed out on the floor, and that was my daughter, my 19-year-old daughter that took that photo.
Right, okay. So I used the picture in one of.
Well, I'm glad, Carl, that you've seen a nice side of Jamie. I'm not saying he's not a nice guy. I don't know him personally, but there is a drug connection there. Obviously, even just by searching court records, there is a drug connection there, and we're more suspicious, to be fair, because of how Mum Miss talks about Jamie. So how she kind of says, he's just my landlord, and then she goes on to say, actually, I'm insured on his car. That's what it is, Carl. Nothing's adding up. And do you know what? Nobody would be any the wiser about Jamie West or any involvement if it wasn't for Mum keep talking about him in all these different ways. And then you go and look online and they've registered businesses together back in 2025 on 2 separate occasions. Now Cara's being fine, Danny. Cara's actually saying that like it's really odd to me because I've only ever known him to be nice and it doesn't add up. A lot of people locally are feeling that way, that actually they saw one reality when he first went missing, and actually that one live we did, this one, has now made everyone go, what the fuck? Like, what have we been told? Are we even searching the right place? Do these people know more? Unfortunately, one of the only, yeah, of course he can. Look at domestic abusers. People go, oh, he's the greatest guy. And a woman's like, he was trying to kill me. We also know that, I don't know. He was trying to sell storage things 14 hours ago.
I post because it did really well and it got people to talk about Taylor because obviously people were shocked. They wanted to share it.
Yeah,
so today
I fell in the river and then I fell into the sewage.
Yeah, okay. So I was heartbroken about that picture because we were at this point, all of this noise in the background is going to take away from Taylor because obviously you're saying something. His dad's posting these shocking posts.
So yesterday when I put about needing a new house, right? This has been for months and months. But my friend said, whilst you've got a following, see if anybody knows, if anybody's got anywhere to rent. So that's why I put it, right? I have to stay in Barnstaple for 6 months.
This is how I know that I say that she's taken something, right, that day. A, because I know what she looks like, and B, I saw her when she came off camera, and there's certain things that give it away. Secondly, there's several different languages she uses here. Dad has accused me of trying to get clout. It's a really weird thing for a mother to be considering when her son's missing clout. Then she's just used those words. Well, I've got a following. You don't have a following. Find Taylor has a following. We've signed up to a group to find your missing son. We don't give a fuck who his mum or dad are. Pardon the pun. Like, we don't. We don't care. We don't care where he's come from, his background are. We're not following your page. We're following Find Taylor. And then you've weaponised that page to sell t-shirts and try to get a bigger property. You don't have a following. I always say to everyone, like, I've got a big account, right? And I always say, like, my account was built by the victims we spoke about. This belongs to the people, right? So I will always use my big account to speak for other cases that don't get anything. I don't walk around my hometown going, I've got a really big following. Don't use me for clout. That's nonsense. We're adults. I always say that if you ask me the 10 cases I've covered, which have got me my following, I could name them right now because I owe it to them. Nicola Bully was the first case I cover. I owe her my choice to be on social media. I came here for her because she was like me and she was walking her kids to school and she disappeared. It's not about me. None of you have ever followed me, bar like most of you, for my comedy. No, every single one of you have come across me through a case. Every single one of you came in here for True Crime Lives. You may have stayed because my ADHD is nuts, but most of you followed me for True Crime. So, I know you, Danny. So, I just don't get it. I don't get that cover where she went. So for me to sit here going, oh my God, I'm so popular on social, it is crap.
So that I've got local connections, so that my kids can stay in the Barnstaple school, or they were telling me that
Your kids don't need to stay in a Barnstaple school because they're not registered. You found me on 24 hours in police custody. Can we just explain I wasn't the perpetrator on it, okay? Right? I've never been caught. This is weird. Like, well, I've got all these connections, I should ask for a home.
I had to go back to Bideford, and my kids don't want to live in Bideford, so I waited out an extra 2 months there.
Okay. So the injury to Taylor, how did that happen? Do we know?
An altercation that happened in the car at Tesco just before it happened.
So he had, thanks Alex, please be respectful because Taylor's dad's here. So he had an altercation with the car, right? You can't have an altercation with the car because cars don't fight back. It's a weird...
So do we know whose car it was?
Yeah, we know whose car it was.
And are they likely to be involved in it?
Listen to certain things. I say, how did he hurt his arm? He had an altercation with the car. Do you know whose car it is? Yeah, we know whose car it is. Like, you already know at these points she's hiding things, right?
Whose car it is.
So are they likely to be involved in his disappearance?
Well, this is what I'm saying. This is what I've asked. And the police are giving me opposite fucking information every time I've asked for something. So when I said, they said he ran from Tesco's to B&Q. When I got CCTV sent to me that he'd gone to the recycling centre, opposite direction.
Right, okay.
Yeah, I don't know who's listening to this, but I haven't done anything wrong other than be looking for my fucking son.
We didn't ask her if she'd done anything wrong. Like, and this is why I'm telling you, I see things in these interviews because I've watched countless of missing people interviews. People who watch a lot will pick up more. A lot of you, if you know Zoe in real life, or this is like kind of the first missing person case you've really been invested in, will not see these things. I asked about why aren't the police looking into the person whose car he smashed up? And she goes on to blabber about loads of things because she doesn't want to talk about whose car it is and she's covering for something, a connection to someone. So then she goes on to say, well, the police are doing the opposite of what I'm telling them to do. Well, A, the police don't fucking work for you, Zoe. You're not the taskmaster. And although you've got very used to manipulating people in life, you can't manipulate the police. So the police will go when the leads are telling them. And right now, if I was the police, I'd be stood outside your door, no one else's. And at this point, she goes, well, the police aren't doing what I tell them to do. And, well, I haven't done anything wrong. Well, no one said you did. We were talking about the person whose car it was. And people are asking me whose car it is. So lots of people are saying now the car is connected to Jamie West. From what I know, it's a local boy called Cody. That's what most people are saying. And from what I know, that boy particularly has come forward and said, I don't have beef with Taylor. He did do whatever to the car window. I just wanted to come home. Like, he's missing. I didn't want it to go like this. So if it is the other boy, he seems to not have a big enough beef to do something to Taylor. And if it is a car connected to Jamie West, which I can't confirm, I can only know what people keep saying.
And all three of the kids have disowned their dad, who's off he's just lost the plot a little bit. But none of his family that are saying that they're family, they've not been around for like their whole life, or at least the last 8 years.
Go back there, because I don't understand a fucking word.
Right, so somebody else set up this GoFundMe,
go back a minute.
Taylor, so we're reading it
Oh, I've got about too much.
Like, half the CCTV in town doesn't work. Altercation that happened in the car at Tesco just before it happened.
So do we know whose car it was?
Yeah, we know whose car it was.
And are they likely to be involved in this?
Whose car it is.
So are they likely to be involved in his disappearance?
Well, this is what I'm saying. This is what I've asked, and the police are giving me opposite fucking information every time I've asked for something. So when I said, they said he ran from Tesco's to B&Q. When I got CCTV sent to me that he'd gone to the recycling centre, opposite direction.
Right, okay.
Yeah, I don't know who's listening to this, but I haven't done anything wrong other than be looking for my fucking son.
Your fucking son.
And all three of the kids have disowned their dad, who's off he's just lost the plot a little bit.
She said all three kids have the same. Lost the plot a little bit. All three kids have the same. Lost the plot a little bit. Doesn't even fucking make sense.
But none of his family that are saying that their family, they've not been around for like their whole life, or at least the last 8 years.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's just me bringing up my kids by myself. So the fact that he's coming in saying, "Come on, Taylor, come home."
That's wrong. Because recently Taylor lived with Liz and Alex, and it was only after some things happened, which Taylor was involved in, that he then moved to stay with his nan. So he hasn't lived with Zoe, and actually the 2 bedrooms she took out in the shared home was one for her and one for her younger son. There was no place for Taylor. So
let's decorate your bedroom. He doesn't live with you, mate. And he disowned you.
but why? Why did he disown his father, Zoe? Could it be because you told your son that he should go to his dad's house, break in and try to steal £1,000 for you and several items from a home that you knew wasn't even Alex's home, it was his partner's, and you weaponised your son and one of his friends to go to that home, to kick off, to attack people, and to leave that home with money and property, some of which was found scattered along the Tarka trail where he was last spotted weeks later, by the way, which chose his dad to have no choice at that moment to not have Taylor in his home because the police were involved through no one's fault. But the fact is that Taylor and one of his friends had done this. And you sent your son there saying, your dad's got £1,000 that's supposed to be yours and your brother's, and he won't give it to you. He's taking it from you. And this 14-year-old who felt really angry then went there to get it. So would that be the reason why at the moment his relationship with his dad is fractured? Could it be because you were more invested in the money than making sure Taylor had 2 parents that he could know in his heart that he could go to if something went wrong? Look, I'm going to tell you something right now. People can hate me whatever you want. If you tell me a story, I will go and verify it. Okay? So if you tell me a story, I will then go and verify it. And if you lie to my face, I'm going to find out. So at that point, I verified this one story with at least 6 people. And one of the only people I've not asked about it is his dad, because I just felt it'd be disrespectful to ask his dad to tell me about a situation that he was involved in. And if it is a legal issue right now and could be in the future, it wasn't right to ask him. But you bet your bottom dollar I verified what happened, who sent Taylor there, what happened, which one of Taylor's friends was with him that day, and why that happened. And do you know what? I would never, ever, ever, as a mother, any issues I had with my children's father, my 3 girls, I would never, ever put it on them. And even at times when he's let them down or he's done stuff in the background with money or whatever it's been, I've always said, your dad loves you, because any of the financial stuff is no child's business. That's an agreement between the 2 parents. Any of you out there saying like your dad didn't give us money again this week, all you're doing is making your child hate 50% of themselves.
Okay. This is the worrying thing. Things like he smashed someone's car window, that would give them a motive to want to chase him, right? And his shoes are found across the river, and the police aren't saying.
The police are saying that there's like half the CCTV in town doesn't work.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
Literally, half of it doesn't even work. The one on the traveller settlement doesn't work. The one like the Target tennis, they got swapped in 2 days before Taylor disappeared. I've gone out every night with a zoomable torch and night vision binoculars trying to retrace his steps or to retrace the river. Like, this is my baby, yeah?
Yeah.
and like, I've been living off adrenaline. I'm sure, bro.
I don't know if she meant adrenaline then or amphetamine. I'm only joking. But she's not living off adrenaline. The night vision goggles, the zoomable torch, all of those things are mad to me. I was like, all right, fucking Inspector Gadget. Why don't you just get out in the daytime and look, just like everyone else, when it's the most safest? Also, how are you going to retrace someone's steps if you don't know where he went? What, are you just walking towards Tesco's and just stopping? And then just going home? Like, you can't retrace his steps, we don't know where he's gone. It doesn't make any sense. Inspector Gadget.
I'm not on anything.
Kat, can you stop calling me Nan, please? Just because I eat Werther's Originals and I stink of piss, I'm not your Nan.
Yeah. I don't even drink alcohol. Like, I'm teetotal, everything.
She's teetotal. She doesn't take anything. Doesn't drink anything. This woman is all kale and yoga.
Landlord then.
He's
Well, he's my landlord, yeah.
Okay, just that's because obviously your dad's
being a landlord.
right.
Yeah, I don't know why he's taking it out on him. I don't understand why all of that actually
You were saying hi to Nan in my life, okay.
came about, because like as
Hi Nan, mine's in heaven.
Jamie's surprised like I'm her landlord. I've already written for the council.
Yeah. Okay.
See, I say, is he or just your landlord? Because I met him for being a landlord. I thought you met him buying a bag, but that's okay. She met him through being a landlord of the baggie. No, she definitely didn't meet him through that, because they've had a long relationship going backwards and forwards over the years. Now, she became a person living in his shared accommodation in September of 2025. But in May of 2025, they registered their first business together. So that's really strange that you have somehow done a business partnership lottery back in 2025 and you've ended up with Jamie West, who would one day become your landlord and the person who shares a car and car insurance with you. I think that's strange, because since I've listened to this back, I've been reaching out to my housing association, okay, hey bro, how am I not insured on your car? And they're going, what? And I'm going, why aren't I insured on your car? Why don't we have any businesses together? And they're going, because I'm just your landlord. And I'm saying, do you want to get wrecked on Wednesday? And they're saying, I've got to leave now. I've said to them, like, we don't do enough together. And they've gone, I've got too many tenants. And I'm like, please. I've got night vision goggles, let's meet up. But they're saying, like, if you do this anymore, I'm going to take you to court. So now I've had to back right off. Kat, for your nan's sake, I'm just going to block you, because I don't like being sworn at, especially now I think I'm your nan. I'm just in a really compromising position. It's really lousy, horrible.
There's no ulterior motive here of anything. There's nothing dodgy. So when someone just told me that you were like online, I don't know who you are or anything, but I've come on here and you're reading out my shitty ex-husband, like he abusive domestic violence relationship fucking stuff.
Right, that's a lie. Okay, that is a lie. As far as I can see, as far as I can go back, as far as I can see, even with crimes that have been reported, I can't see Alex ever being reported for domestic abuse. I cannot see Alex ever having conviction for domestic abuse. And ex-girlfriends from the past, people at school, have never said Alex has been violent to a woman. So I'd have to say there, I would disagree. And I can only deal with facts of what there is. And I personally think, if it had come in the beginning of the conversation, when we first spoke about Alex, I would be more inclined to be like, okay, that's cool. It was only because every single time she needed more, she threw us other stuff at Alex. And then you have to kind of question, would you have sent your son into a domestic perpetrator violent house to rob money from him, knowing his dad could turn around and fucking do something to him? This was a man who actually took a hit off his son because he wouldn't fight his son back, right? So you're telling me a man who can't control his anger allowed a 14-year-old son who he'd raised to come into his house and attack him and rob him, and he didn't fight him back because it was his son? That takes some fucking growth as a man to not school your son in that moment, because I can't imagine what that must have been like. But Taylor left with his friends. So to me, I look at somebody's behaviour. Now, somebody who can't control themselves to the fact that they're going to be a domestic abuser, if someone comes into your house, your son, whatever it is, comes into yours and your partner, who happens to be poorly as well, her home, and starts kicking off, and that, in the view of the law, Alex would have had every right in that moment to fight back in self-defence, stand your ground law, but because it was his son, he couldn't, right? So that tells me that this is a man who has self-restraint.
I've also read out every single one of your posts about finding Taylor before. I've made several posts. I made posts before I even come onto social media, before the Find Taylor page. I've made posts that have had lots of views to try and bring Taylor home. But when I cover a case, I have to cover the whole case. And when I'm seeing a post that shocking being sent to me, we have to talk about it.
Alex, is in here.
Yeah, I know, but I am grateful for every single person in this community. They've been absolutely amazing. They've been like 2,000 times more amazing than the Taylor. But getting at me, like when I'm asking if there's only 2 or 3 bedrooms because I need to get out of this flat there imminently.
Let me tell you something. There is only one person in this whole interview, and she speaks for herself, it's not me, that she is concerned about. It is only one person. We've just said about finding Taylor, and she's gone, well, no, because 2 days ago I put up a post saying I needed a new house, and people are getting at me. You're just, like, hey, Pag, you're right. Even if you look at it from a parent position, your son is missing. I'm just a girl on TikTok, but with 300,000 followers. At that point, I'll jump up in the box and be like, my son Taylor Charlton is missing. This is when he's last seen. This is exactly what he's like. My one aim would be to take any information about Taylor that I could as a parent to humanise him to anyone watching. You know, my son Taylor, like, he was brilliant at this subject at school. He was a great big brother. His little brother is literally, he's lost his hero. He doesn't know what to do. I'm making dinner for 3 kids and there's only 2 here. You know, I absolutely will never stop until I find him. And in a minute you'll see her attitude where she's like, I just want to find him in the river. I just want to be the one to find him. The wording is very bizarre. Now we're saying here, like, this isn't helping. You weaponising all this stuff against Alex and fighting with each other. And she's like, well, people are going at me because I wanted to get a house. Like, my friend told me to get a house. Well, I've got all these connections. Well, I've got this big following. You haven't. The only reason people are interested is for Taylor. This isn't the Zoe show. No one cares. Nobody cares. We literally want to find your son. That's it. Most people wouldn't be able to comprehend looking for a home, right? Anyone who's ever moved house is fucking stressful. I haven't even got time to arrange viewings with you if my son's missing. There's no point me asking you for... At this point, I'd rather live in a cardboard box if I can bring him home. I don't give a fuck where I'm living. I'm not eating, I'm not sleeping, I'm not putting the heat on. I don't care what couch I'm sitting on, because this is all I'm doing is sitting waiting for the phone to ring. It just doesn't bear... It's honestly such an opportunistic thing to do.
And then I start getting, oh, you were involved in Taylor's disappearance and stuff like that. Obviously not. This is my baby that I've been searching for.
I don't think it was anything to do with that, just that post. I think it's the way the father is talking about everything together.
Yeah.
It makes everything look really shocking.
Yeah, but he's like that. And both of his other kids, so our daughter who's 19 and our son who's 13, both tried to bring him today to say, hush your mouth, and we don't want nothing more to do.
Right, okay, so let's crack this again. The 19-year-old got the fucking hell out of North Devon as soon as she could, because she was fed up on mum's behaviour, the way they were living. So she moved away quick, right? And she's doing so well for herself. She's doing amazingly, very proud of what she's doing. She's only come back recently because Taylor's missing. So it's not like the eldest is out there hating on dad at all. Now, to me, it's not a flex to say, I could do, you message me and I'll talk to you. It's not a flex to say, I've turned my children against their father. It is not a flex to say, I am really good at parent alienation. Because your frustration is not on your children at their father. Alex could have been a bad partner, which according to everyone he isn't. He bent over backwards too much for her. And he provided with a nice home. He worked fucking hard. The kids had a really good life until they left Alex's home. The home both parents had together. It's not a flex to say those things. My flex for me is that I have been through domestic abuse for 14 years. My children don't know it, right? My ex was not a good partner. He's a fantastic dad, right? And we parent the children together, and not for one moment would my children tell you that I didn't like him. They say things like, why doesn't Daddy still live with us? Because they have no idea. They don't know if he pays me or that he doesn't, because it's not their business. As long as they have everything they need, it is not for children to know what finances we have and what we don't. I would never say to my children, like, we can't get something today because we don't have money. I'll say something like, we'll just get on the weekend because we've got so much to do. Because I don't want them to go to bed thinking, can we eat tomorrow? The same as if I have an issue with my mum, or when mum says something, I wouldn't sit them down at the dinner table and go, you know what, Nan's really upset me today. Because I don't want to put my emotions onto them. So, to me, a truly kind of loving parent would be able to say, look, bud, I don't love your mum anymore, but she's a great mum to you, right? Or, I don't love your dad anymore, but I love him as your father. Because when you lay down with someone and have kids, at that point, your needs need to just fuck off, and it all becomes like the children. So keep coming up and saying, like, my kids will... She even said, my kids will actually all tell you about, my kids will do this, my kids will do that. Yes, because you've put your adult shit onto them. And we know she does. And I can say that because she's just shown us she's got a 13-year-old boy sat next to her. And you will hear repeatedly throughout this conversation things about rent boys, drugs, drug taking, smashing up cars, bodies in rivers, organs being taken. And this whole time a 13-year-old boy is sat knee to knee with her on the sofa.
Is there a possibility that if there's some kind of family fracture, you could be at his dad's?
That he could be at his dad.
Because we have to discuss the fact that obviously if there's a massive trauma within the family, someone has to know where he is. There's been no sightings.
Yeah, I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like, that incident is Fairlight. He's out fighting people.
Right.
It's nothing to do with no drug debts. It's nothing to do with all this conspiracy shit. It's to do with somebody either hit him and he fell into the river, but I don't understand why his body hasn't washed up. Or somebody bundled him in the back of their car for smashing up somebody else's car.
So let's put this right. Taylor has gone missing, right? Now, you and the dad don't like each other, you don't get on, don't speak. And you've had constant bickering between the parents. Now, Taylor goes missing, and your first thought, or one of your thoughts, isn't considering maybe it's dad's. A more rational thought for you as a mother is he's bundled in the back of the van, or he's pushed into the river because it's fair night. Make that make sense. A 14-year-old. Now, later on in the interview, I'll ask her, could he be at dad's? And she goes, I've been saying that. Right? So it doesn't, it's not even like she's like, you know, no, I've spoke to his dad. Police have gone there. Both houses have been searched. Like, he's not. Thank you, Eve. If Alex is all the things you're saying he is, and it's true, then surely we wouldn't put it past him to have taken Taylor. Surely not. If he was such an abuser, he was so horrible to you, your children will hate him, they've disowned him, surely there's a chance that he's got something to do with Taylor. But that's why I asked the question. And she's instantly like, nothing to do with drug debts. I didn't say it was drug debts. I said, could he be with his dad? The two of you are alienated from each other. Could he be at his dad's house? Why is that like such a weird... Thank you, it's good to talk. Why is that such a weird thing to consider, but him being pushed into the river or bundled into the back of the van isn't?
That's why I don't understand why not by you, but by the police, haven't talked about the fact that there was this altercation beforehand.
I know, and it was right outside the police station. Tesco's.
Okay.
Yeah.
The kind of few things that happen in the 24 hours before someone goes missing are so relevant. So when they're like not telling us about that...
I've got a Google document of every single timeline. Alex had nothing. I had sent him the first page of it when I started.
So even then, I said, everything that happens the 24 hours before someone goes missing and afterwards is really relevant. I have a whole timeline. Alex has nothing. Put the timeline out then. And it was, she didn't block me after this interview. She didn't block me for days. She only blocked me when I then made a video again saying, put out your timeline. You say you have one. You say you have a whole timeline. Just put it out so we can find him. Thank you, Beth. And then she blocked me and started using the page to slander me, because it's easier to slander me than to admit she has no fucking timeline, because her timeline will tell us where she and he was, and quite quickly you'll think the same way I think.
Doing it. Like, I started writing down his timeline of what shop Taylor had been in, because I've got CCTV from the shop 2 doors up. I've got CCTV from, like, he was seen in another place, and then he was seen on the bridge, and then he was seen, so I've got it all. I have documented.
So he's seen our shop 2 doors up, then at a bridge, then back at 4 doors up. So he's everywhere, right? But then she told us a minute ago, none of the CCTV in town works, right? So where is all this CCTV?
Everything from the start.
Yeah. Okay.
But
Yeah,
I
that's
needed to, because it took the police 6 days to.
I know.
I was constantly ringing them. I jumped on 2 police car bonnets, yeah? Just to say what the fuck's going on with my son.
It is, I can't believe
Thing
this.
that's frustrating.
She may have jumped on the police bonnets of the cars, but she was invisible at the time because the police say they didn't see it. So she jumped on them, but it was when she had a night vision goggles on. She put the visibility cloak on as well. So she put that on, then the night vision goggles, and then the shrinking hat, and then she jumped on the bonnet of the car. So nobody saw it, but she did do it.
I'm literally, he's saying that I'm looking for clout, when actually I'm just out trying to find my son.
He said I'm looking for clout, that I'm being dramatic. I'm just out looking for my son. I even jumped on 2 police cars. You know, do you know what I mean? Like, there's only one person trying to make this more dramatic. Like, you're literally making mad shit up. Do you know what I mean? You're like leaping from one like police car to the other. Next we're gonna find out she was on a skateboard and they were 3 fucking counties apart and she just went one from the other. Like that, I've not heard his dad say things like clout. I've not heard him. I always think anyone over the age of 12-ish using the word clout is fucking odd. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've heard people talk about me on TikTok and they're like, she's a clout chaser, they've got 12 followers. I'm like, why would I need to? Like, it doesn't make any sense. It's such an embarrassing word. It's like someone telling me they're moist. It's like, ugh.
Yeah,
not a lot of people tell me, by the way.
And then, like, I heard yesterday, my daughter told me that, like, he put up a post saying that he got a free Domino's pizza because he's Taylor's dad, ha ha ha. Like, that.
So did anyone see that Dad put up a poster, put up a post anywhere? Because I've read all Dad's posts, I've not seen one that said, I got free pizza because I'm Taylor's dad. Do you think it was on a Tuesday? When you get 2 for Tuesday? I'm going to start telling my kids that I'm going to get 2 for Tuesday and I'm going to go, we got double because I'm Hayley Comet. I'm going to flex it right up. Our lifestyle on TikTok meant this is possible. Veg aroma and fucking pepperami bad boy. Mummy made it possible. I've never seen a post of Alex saying he got any freebies because he... I can hardly hit your fucking Lucky Mellow right now. To be fair, I wish I couldn't hear me. I wish I'd perforated my own eardrums at some points.
Extortionate. I'm not. The only time I've said that I'm Taylor's mum is so last night when I was out searching in the middle of the night. I came to the substation and there was 3 men there, and I said I'm Taylor's mum. And they said we're here for an hour. Do you want to come in and search anywhere that you want to?
So the only time ever that she said she's Taylor's mum is at the substation. And people said 3 men approached her and she went, I'm Taylor's mum. Right? So you must be saying, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, no one cares that you say you're Taylor's mum. I say I'm my kid's mum every single day. I'm proud to be a mum. Do you know what I mean? I'm in the playground. My daughter's fucking lassoing the monkey bars as Michael Jackson. Hee. And I'm like, that's my daughter. Get him, kid. Do you know what I mean? I go to parents' evening. They're like, oh, she's really smart. And I'm like, she's my daughter. Do you know what I mean? It's literally all the time. Like, any opportunity I can. Do you know what I mean? My other daughter's looking up at the massive sign in Plymouth that says ski, going, KSI's coming to Plymouth because she has issues with reading. And I go, that's my kid, we'll go and see him. Do you know what I mean? Her dyslexia is literally amazing. Do you know what I mean? She's trying to book tickets. But do you know what I mean? At every opportunity, I'm like, that's my daughter, that's my kid. She's just like me. Apart from my little one goes, I'll break your bones. I'll go, that's her Manchester dad in her. Like, that's not me. She's eating her book in school. That's her dad. He was doing that in prison. You know what I mean? The good things, though, they're mine.
Yeah.
But I'm not getting here. I'm not making money on
15.
T-shirt.
15, yeah.
I'm not doing anything wrong other than being stupid and looking for my son and trying to keep my other 2 children afloat.
I think the main issues that are going to come from here, and it's going to get messy now, is because you as parents can't put your differences aside and you're digging at each other constantly.
So before all of this, we were blocked, right? And I unblocked him for there was domestic violence and it wasn't good. So I've moved here, yeah?
That's not why you moved there, Zoe.
He's just going off on, he's just making it like, just to make me look bad, because he's off his head.
I'll be really honest. She doesn't need any help to look bad. I'll be really... No, Charlie. The drugs don't work. They just make it worse. And you should never interview someone taking them.
I just think, obviously, I have no idea what you're going through, obviously, and it must be awful. But at the moment, because there's back and forth and constantly digging at each other.
Seriously. Yeah, but I mean, this is what I mean. I've had to unblock him for that purpose. But before that, I was getting, like, he was blocked on everything, and I was going to get a restraining order because he sends me abusive voicemails daily.
Okay.
So you have him blocked, but he's still sending you abusive messages daily, which you wouldn't even know about. She might have the invisibility cloak on again when she was reading them. And at the same time, she goes, I had to unblock him because it's his birthday tomorrow. Why are you unblocking him for his birthday? Like, I don't understand. Like, you absolutely hate the man, but on his birthday, because Alex's birthday was the day before Taylor's, what, you were going to unblock him and go, I don't like you, and you are a DV perpetrator, but happy fucking birthday, mate. But he's a jolly good fella, I'm blocking you again till next year, little fucker. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't make any sense. Do you know what I mean? I had to unblock him. How else am I going to say happy birthday to him? I hope you choke on your cake, you fucker. And then he's blocked again now. And then a minute ago, she was like, I had to ask the kids to get him to dad to take the post down because I've got him blocked. I feel like I've taken it with her. Do you know what I mean? I feel we're both fucked.
That's why I've had to come on here. Like, the admin on the group was like, oh, there's a lie, you need to report it. I just come in there and heard you talking about me, like how Alex had written it. And just so that you know, that's not anything. I homeschooled Taylor. Taylor spends half his time with me and half the time with his mum.
No, he doesn't.
He's banned from his dad's house. He's banned from the whole of Alex's side of the family.
He's not banned from the whole side of his family. There's no banning. There's a red X on their door. There was the issue with what Taylor had done. He had gone to his dad's house. He had kicked off. He'd hurt his dad. His dad hadn't fought him back because it was his son, and he had robbed a lot of stuff, expensive stuff, from the home. So at that point, you can't come to my home anymore, right? Now, that's common sense. If you come into my home, you're violent and you steal, and I can't trust you in my home, and I'm worried what you're going to do, then yes, you can't come here because you have other places like with your nan to live. But Taylor wasn't banned from everybody's home.
I'm doing my best for my kids.
Yes. So Nan, her mother, works in a local Tesco's, not in the one Taylor went missing from. She actually has been a stable influence in Taylor's life, from what I can understand from people. She adores Taylor. I believe some years ago she gave up on Zoe finally after realising she wasn't going to turn away from the drugs. Now, like I said before, it was the nan's home that she'd allow Zoe and the kids to move into before it became like a bit like cuckooed and the whole house was turned into some kind of drug den. And at that point, Nan moved out into her own home. She's recently had to sell that home for bottom price just for it to be bulldozed and rebuilt on. So she's lost a lot of stuff through trying to be good to her children and her grandchildren. And I think there's only so much you can kind of go through before you're like, I found him, take your face for a shit. You can't even find your fucking dick.
A 13-year-old and a 19-year-old.
Yeah, I get that. I'm praying.
The fact that we want to move out of this flat, it was only meant to be a temporary thing just because Torres District Council lost my housing form because they looked at one from 2018, right?
So Torres Council lost the housing form. and it's definitely true that she didn't use it as a Rizzler. They lost a housing form. No one used it at all for that. You're trying to stay in Barnstaple so the kids can go to the same schools, but they're not in school. They're not registered at any school, right? So they're not going to get into a catchment area, because the catchment area is wherever you are, Zoe, because you're the homeschooler, right? So I wonder if she's got space to educate my children as well.
And so they said you didn't answer our calls. So it's just
What colours of sky?
It's not
I
anything.
love London. Do you I hope she can educate my children. What is 10 plus 10? I eat daisies on the weekend. You just can't keep up with the conversation. What's your favourite brand of dog? I like Spanners. What's the capital of Asia? Oh, Malcolm in the Middle.
I wrote on the 2-bedroom house thing yesterday saying that I'm literally just looking for somewhere that I can have my family. Like, they're saying, oh, what if Taylor comes back there? I've got cameras all over the house. We'll see if Taylor comes back there. But he wouldn't. The police would tell me where he was before.
So if Taylor comes back to my home, I will know because I've got cameras everywhere. Well, surely you'll just see him. Like, do you know what I mean? He's not like he only appears on cameras. And then she goes, and the police will tell me that he's on the cameras. Well, surely when you open the door, you'll see that it's Taylor, right? And if he comes home and he's physically there, you'll know, right? I'd like to think she would know. She goes, why have you got cameras all on the inside of your home? If you're not dealing, if you're not doing anything, she says if it moves, I'll see. I shouldn't even laugh, but she said if the cameras move, I'll know he's home. I normally know if my kids are home because they're in the fridge or they shout, "Hey, mum." Do you know what I mean? It's not like I hear the camera go, and I'm like, fucking kids are here. And I'm looking outside, I can't see nothing. I'm like, they're definitely here because But she says here that there are cameras all over the home. Oh, so if she moves to a new home, she'll know he's back at their own home because all the cameras will see him inside of the home. So if she doesn't live in the old home that she's in now, but Taylor will still get inside of that home somehow, even though he doesn't live there, and he'll be inside the home.
I do need somewhere to reside, because at the moment I'm renting 2 rooms for an extortion money.
Okay. So, Jamie West, if he's on the post and he's your landlord, why can't he bring the rent down for you just while you look for your son? I don't understand why he can't help you.
It's business, isn't it?
Business, isn't it?
But surely he's on the post.
What does that mean? What does that mean? So, Jamie is your landlord. Jamie is also the person on the post saying, please someone help her find somewhere to live. She's living somewhere right now that costs a lot of money. She can't afford it. It's a lot of money for 2 rooms. You're the fucking landlord, Bella. Put it down then. Put the rent down. Surely if you've got a problem with the rent and you're talking about and you're the one setting the rent, why not change it? After this, Jordan, if you don't mind, because I just want to get through this and it's going to go on YouTube and it's going to break it up. I don't normally let people in the box halfway through, but you can at the end. Surely you would just drop the rent. There is no rewind it. Rewind it to where? There is no place there for Taylor. Taylor. Oh, I'll have a look in a minute. I'll come back. His snap score's gone off. It's definitely his account. Right.
And just so that you know, that's not anything. I homeschooled Taylor. Taylor spends half his time with me and half the time with his mum.
No idea.
He's banned from his dad's house. He's banned from the whole of the side of the family.
Right, just listen a minute. I'm going to click. I can't go back and forth.
I'm doing my best for my kids.
Okay,
I've
drink.
got a 13-year-old and a 19-year-old boy.
Yeah, I get that. I'm
The
praying.
fact that we want to move out of this flat share, it was only meant to be a temporary thing just because Forest District Council lost my housing form because they looked at one from 2018, right?
Okay.
And so they said you didn't answer our calls. So it's just been obstacles. It's not anything political. It's just, this is why I wrote on the 2-bedroom house thing yesterday saying that I'm literally just looking for somewhere that I can have my family. Like, they're saying, oh, what if Taylor comes back there? I've got cameras all over the house, so we'll see if Taylor comes back there. But he wouldn't. The police would tell me where he was before. But I do need somewhere to reside, because at the moment I'm renting 2 rooms for an extortionate money.
Okay. So, Jamie West, if he's on the post and he's your landlord, why can't he bring the rent down for you just while you look for your son? I don't understand why he can't help you.
It's business, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
But surely he's on the post, like, literally saying, like, oh, she needs to be reunited with her children, so he needs to fucking do his part as well.
Yeah, somebody else has got my actual car, and I'm trying to get my car back, so he put insurance on Jamie's car so that I could use his car. So I've been...
So she is, someone else has got my car. I'm trying to get it back, right? Then she said, yesterday in the post, my car was never missing, right? No one ever had my car, right? But you said there, and then in another private message that I've got that you sent to someone, you said that someone had stolen your car. But now, when I said yesterday, where's the car? Like 2 days ago, I said, look, why are you hiding the car then? Why are you hiding the car the whole time it's missing? And then in the early hours of yesterday morning, it appeared back on a drive after I'd kind of challenged it. It's outside the house now, yeah.
In his car for days to search. So it's not like he hasn't helped. He insured that for me.
Right.
Just
So is that your partner and your...
So to be fair, right, Barnstaple is an area pretty similar to where I live. So if a landlord of mine is saying to me, I can't bring down your rent in a shared accommodation, which probably isn't even worth the money she's paying anyway, but I will insure you on my car so you can search for your son, I'd say, look, save the insurance money. Not that I asked about the car. I can walk because I've got more chance of spotting him on foot. Can you just take it off the rent instead? It's just weird. It's just weird to me that you would... The house is tiny, so she's not in a shared accommodation like she's saying where there's loads of other people, there's 2 rooms for her, one for her son. That's not what it is, no. Is that not true, no? I don't know exactly where she lives, to be fair. I'm asking you, is that true?
Okay, so it's not where the dad is saying that you are together?
Yeah, he's just saying that because he's like jealous.
No, I don't believe she works.
But, like, he's literally just the landlord.
Right, okay. Alright.
So he's just her landlord from September 2025. But in May of 2025, they registered a business with Company House online together. Her in the name of Zoe Charlton at the time, and him in the name of Jamie West. It was the All Healthy Company. So they registered that in May of 2025, even though they only met in September. And she says, we met as landlord and person renting, right? So we only ever met as landlord and tenant. But then together in May, way before she knew he existed or he had ever known she had existed, they ended up weirdly registering a business together legally through Company House, right? So that to me is, Kaz, you can always message me. So that to me is very odd, right? And then in October of 2025, weirdly, 6 months before her son will go missing, they create a t-shirt brand together called Conspiracy Clothing, right? So out of the 15 businesses that Jamie West has registered on Company House, on lots of them he's not up to date on his paperwork to be there, they registered 2 businesses together. Now I think personally I would be really freaked out, because if I moved into my home in the September and then in the October my landlord knocked on my door and said, by the way, I've registered a business with you in May, don't worry about it, and I'm going to register another one today called Conspiracy Clothing, I'd be like fuck you are. At that point I'd be phoning the police, and I think my landlord is trying to scam me because there's something weird going on and my name is being used. Also, if you're renting his property and you're really struggling right now, just be like, take my share of whatever sales come in, because I can't even keep up with his rent right now. Doesn't make any sense.
But do you see how company things get mixed up?
Yeah, because
we obviously
the narrative of what I've seen today is very some evil,
that's a good
horrible,
glitch.
fucking all of this fucking shit. When I am just absolutely a devastated mum who has looked after all 3 of the kids myself for the past 14 years. And I'm just being slated to the ground because he's not possessed.
So, again, you and Alex have only broke up in recent years. You talk about in a minute that you'd been apart for about 7 years. You got back together in the last couple of years. You'd been together again. So throughout this whole time, you and Alex have been either living together or in some kind of relationship. So you haven't raised these children for 14 years. You also have your oldest daughter is 19. So you haven't raised children together for that time. And then she goes, can you not see how all the narratives in this case are being all mixed up? Yes, because of ZOE. Like, you started this madness. This absolute fucking madness. You started. Now, I could see kind of why Dad put up a post kind of accusing Mum of some stuff, which I showed at the beginning of this live. I could show it again in a minute if people want to see it. It's what started off me talking about this live for us to come in. And then Dad deleted it because he kind of thought probably it was going to mess up what was going on. So he kind of took it down. But I'd already got the screenshot, unfortunately. So and then when someone deletes it afterwards, I'm like, this is definitely important. And I said to Alex, like, I will share all posts, what you make, what she makes, what everyone makes. I have no bias when it comes to that. If you make a post about Taylor Charlton, I've probably read it, no, regardless of who you are on social media. I probably have read it, and I probably have kind of torn apart what you've said a little bit and tried to look for stuff in it. Yeah, I do.
Because he's saying you're on drugs, you're saying he's on drugs, he's saying you left with Jamie, you're saying you left with another woman, so you can understand why we're all fucking confused.
Yeah, okay, so we were together we were married for 7 years, and then we separated for 7 years, and then we got back together last March.
Last March, right?
Yeah, and then by the July, he'd already moved in with this girlfriend that he's with now.
Right, okay.
Like, repeated for weeks and weeks, and just up one day.
So if that's true, right, Dad left in the July, she was still already registered in business with Jamie in the May. Yes? And yesterday I was made aware of several dating profiles that were made previous to the July. And not that it matters to me, I really don't care who you see and who you're dating, but it still proves that there was no perfect relationship there. And even, in the relationship stage, it's crazy because actually the kids were living in a weird situation way before this. Don't make any sense. I know he does.
And then I found out that he hadn't paid any of the rent or any of the bills, and he just did a runner. And so I got made homeless. Taylor was going to stay with Alex for 2 days. But then he did the whole, your mum doesn't love you, she's not making room for you. All of the fucked up shit that I've had to condition back out of Taylor's head, because that's
condition
not the
out of
truth.
him.
Right.
There's not one part of me that does not love you or want anything for Taylor, like forward. Do you know what I mean? But there's other people in the family that just have always had the narrative of, it's like the ex-wife thing.
Yeah.
But that ex-wife is the one that has never asked for child maintenance once in 14 years. That's the part,
Well, you were living together.
Been amicable as I can be.
Is there any way that Taylor may have left because of this? Because of the backward and forth being caught in the middle, being conditioned, unconditioned.
She's called Zoe Harvey on social media.
Nothing to do with it.
I just know, and I'm not saying that about your family, I'm saying for a lot of families, when families divorce and stuff, it's so hard.
So this is where he disowned Alex the other week, because he actually went to his house and just beat Alex up. He beat his stone dad up and was like, he's like, I hate you. I
This
don't
is
want
the word
nothing
in
to
a
do
minute.
with you. And then disowned him. This was like 6 weeks ago.
So he defamed him, right? This is a woman who we have confirmed has studied law, very smart woman. Not sure after all of the taking of stuff, right? She was a very smart, beautiful woman when she was younger. She had a lot go over her. She says defamed. And she said at the beginning of this, she may mean disowned, but she says defamed twice.
So
should we look at his dad then? If his dad's been beat up by Alex, his dad is been beaten up by Taylor.
Let's listen to this
you know
back.
what? I didn't think about it until last night, but
Okay.
he's going to be pissed at his ego.
Right, now listen to this bit, right? So we said before, maybe I'm wrong, right? So this bit is, if the majority of people here disowned, then I'm wrong. So that's why it's good to listen to it together. If you listen to before, I said, could his dad be involved ages ago, right? And she goes, no. It's more likely to be that someone's bundled him into a car or pushed him in the river. Now I've just said again, right, due to everything you said about Alex, is his dad involved? And she goes, yes, this is what I've started thinking last night. But we just had this same question. This is why sometimes I repeat questions, because her answers are completely different. Well, 5 minutes ago, you said that Dad couldn't be involved. He was probably bundled into a car. Now you're saying...
Taylor is huge, as you can see in these pictures.
Taylor's huge.
Right. So he's got to be up his dad, and now he's gone missing. So wait, the car, can I just ask, the car that he smashed, has that anything to do with any of you?
No, so we didn't know who... He's a 17-year-old kid.
Right, okay.
But...
Okay.
So, Taylor got spiked that night, right? So he's never done drugs. He's really anti-drugs. Really, really anti-drugs.
Really anti-drugs,
15 miles away to get away from somebody in this friendship group doing drugs before, right? But he got spiked with cocaine, ketamine and PCP that night.
Right.
So he wasn't...
How do we know this?
Because of the people that he was with ended up in hospital nearly dead.
Who's dead?
Right, so there's 4 of them out, yeah?
Yeah.
One's the ringleader, one's Taylor, and then the other 2 ended up in hospital nearly dead from this dodgy ketamine thing.
Right, so she just said they ended up nearly dead from the dodgy ketamine. Before that, she said they were all spiked with PCP, ketamine and cocaine, right? So now I've spoken to 2 of the boys' mums out of the 4. One of the boys' mums was very rude, but said, look, my son took ketamine in my house by himself, right? Think what you want of that, right? So she said he did go to hospital later that night, didn't nearly die, there was no issues like that, just went to get checked out. There is nobody who nearly overdosed. Now, at that point, we've now since found out that Taylor was not, hello. We now know that Taylor was not spiked. He was not spiked at all. And there's been 2 different stories now. One is that Taylor took a line of coke that night. One was that Taylor was forced to take a line of coke. I don't know which one of those is true. But both of the mums confirmed that the children who did take ketamine late that night, Taylor had already left those children at 3 p.m. that afternoon. And they didn't do it till into the, 9, 10 o'clock at night. So he wasn't spiked.
But witness testimony that's saying that this person forced Taylor to do this line because he's so anti-drugs. I mean, he literally walked 15 miles.
So now she just says someone forced him to do a line because Taylor is so anti-drugs that he would walk for 15 miles to get away from them. That seems like a long distance. So I don't like spiders, right? And if I see one over there, I'll leave the room. I've never gone to London. I've never gone a great distance. I will walk away from my desk. I may even go into the kitchen. I've never thought, fucking hell, I'm moving to Asia. That spider is massive. That is a great... People that say massive statements like that, it's... Did he walk to you? 15 miles would be like he was going long. Do you know what I mean? You would be like, it would be a lot. Because at this time when he's missing, you would probably be like, oh, he's probably just walking to get away from drugs again. He'll be back in 10 weeks. You would think that, wouldn't you? You would kind of be like, oh, he might have met something this time he really didn't like. He's probably gone 60 miles. It's a weird conversation. It's a weird way to put it. Like, you're not saying... But Amber, it's like me saying, I went to Amber's house, right? She was drinking fucking this drink I didn't like, so I just left. But then me saying to you, like, oh, went to Amber, she had a Capri Sun, so I fucking moved to Germany. Fucking disgusting it was. It's just mad. Like, do you know what I mean? Fucking hell. This cocktail's not nice. I'm fucking off 15 miles. And you can't stop me. It's just, and I laugh at it, not because of Taylor missing. It's funny because the overdoing of that is mad. Like, do you know what I mean? Mad.
Right, okay.
So I feel like maybe they subdued him a bit because he is a beast, yeah?
He's a beast.
Yeah. Maybe they subdued him a bit but they can take him from that. I don't know. The fucking possibilities are endless. I literally just thought I was going to find him in the river, yeah? He can't swim. He can't swim.
PCP is serious. He'd be off his head. He wouldn't know where he was, what he's doing. And that adds to a whole different fucking story.
Yeah, literally. I got a vape the other day, which I thought was like a different vape, and it's like bright blue shit, and it's blatantly like the stuff that they're spiking kids with. So, like, my friend had one puff and he passed out. So, like, puffing or touching that.
But this is really important. I had a vape. So PCP is like angel dust. It's a psychedelic. Fuck your tree for absolute ages, days. So she says my son was spiked. You'll hear something later on about blue stuff that you need time with it. My son was spiked a minute ago with PCP, with ketamine and with cocaine. That's what she says. Then later on, she goes, I bought a vape with dodgy stuff in, blue stuff. Now, where are you buying, as a mum, dodgy vapes from? Ask yourself that first of all. And my friend took one puff and he passed out. But if it was your vape, what kind of adults are these people that are sharing their vapes? Like, if I buy a vape, right, and I'm talking to my friend over coffee, and now if, like, you know, if I went for a coffee with, say, Amber, she lives close to me, and she left her vape at home, and she went, can I get a cup? I would give it her, right? But in general, if she come to my house and said, can we share that vape? I'd be thinking, why can't you get her own vape? Weird. Because I'm not at school. I'm not like, do you want letters, do you want twos? It's really weird, especially because she hadn't had any yet. So if I, like, get my vape out and someone's like, can I have some of that? And I'm like, yeah, well, it's blue stuff. You try it first. It almost makes me wonder if you didn't give Taylor that vape and that's how you know what he was spiked with. Because if you know that your son was spiked with 3 particular chemicals, you must know, because you must have given him those 3 chemicals or know who did. And then when you describe later on a situation where you saw someone pass out from that puff, who was the person? My mate. The same mate who told you to use the Facebook group to advertise for a new home. My mate. The same mate who said, well, you're on the floor covered in mud. This is a really good photo opportunity, by the way, Zoe. Put your head back, close your eyes. Let's get this up for Taylor. Your mate. Isn't it always weird? My mate who was there when the shoes were found. Your mate's called Jamie in that situation, isn't it? Your mate that sells dodgy vapes is Jamie, right? 24/7 Party Barnstaple. That's 24 Party North Devon, isn't it? That's Jamie. So it's weird, right? To say that. That's like one of those things where you guys come in and go, oh, I heard that you stole 15 Kinder eggs, and I'll go, that's my mate. Or if I want to, you know, if I want to put something across and go, oh, one of my friends thought this about something because I want to test your reaction if it's okay or I'm going to get cancelled or not. It's always my mate, right? It's my mate Jack. Kinder egg.
But, like, seriously, the kids have always been with me. Alex took Taylor for like 2 months to parental alienation at the start of this year, at Christmas time. Him and his missus, when they run out of drugs, they start screaming and throwing strops and doing all of this stuff, yeah.
So he committed parent alienation in December, but you got back with him in March. Is that right?
Say that again?
You said him and his girlfriend did parental alienation against the kids in December, but you got back with him in March.
Yeah.
No, as in, last March to July, I was with Alex.
March. Okay.
Well, from what we know now, I imagine that the screaming from Alex and his partner of telling him to leave was probably because it was during a robbery where they'd both been injured. I would imagine that would be where the screaming is. Thank you, Chantal. Who said PCP? The mum said a minute ago he was spiked that night with PCP, ketamine and cocaine.
But last March, okay.
Yeah?
Just because I was trying to get the timeline right. Okay.
It was like a novelty because we've been divorced 7 years, and I just thought I was getting my family back together when it's actually been the most detrimental thing to have happened.
2 seconds. Right, okay.
Seagulls.
It's just, yeah, this is...
everywhere, right? The police are saying there's no CCTV down there. 2 days before Taco Leisure Centre, they got their cameras flashed in. Half the cameras in town do not actually work. They're fake.
But you've got CCTV from every 2 shops.
No, she didn't say he was 17. She said the boy he was with, who the car was smashed, was 17. Her son is 14. Stop putting words in her mouth. She didn't say that. She said the car belonged to a boy who was 17. So the boy whose car was smashed... The boy whose car was smashed, was he...
I've never thought, oh, this will be a novelty. There has been horrific domestic abuse, but novelty. A novelty is like, you know, when the kids were into LOL dolls. the novelty until you get 2 the same and you've paid 20 quid for each. Tell you the novelty wears off real quick. Oh, they must all be the same. We never get one again.
With the spike in that night.
I've never heard of him before.
Okay.
But
To be fair, he could be.
all the stuff that he said reported him missing too. I need to clear that. That pisses me off, right? So, yeah, I went and stayed at Jamie's other properties so that Paula could have my bedroom by himself if he wanted to after the fair, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But then my other son told me that actually he's gonna go stay at his friend's house, which is his friend end up in the hospital.
Okay.
But there's all this fucking bullshit about how that's all orchestrated and all this fucking bullshit.
So that's weird because I didn't hear that properly when she did it the first time. So she said, I went to stay at Jamie West's other property, despite the fact he's just a landlord, that's it. So that's weird. So that Taylor could have my bedroom to himself after the fair. So there'd be one for the 14-year-old, one for the 15-year-old, right? One for the 15-year-old, one for the 13-year-old, where he would be 14, so I'm 14 and 13, right? So at that point, then your 13-year-old, your other son, says he was with boys that were spiked that night. I thought Taylor was. But then later on in a minute, she'll say Taylor would come back at one time to check and his brother had been asleep the whole night. It doesn't make any sense.
It was fair night. I said, here's some money for you. That picture of him in the blue, I just sent him to the barbers.
Yeah.
And then he'd come back. He'd sorted he made me get out of the bath so he could have the mirror.
Yeah.
And then I had to put back in
Being
the
asked
bath,
to get out of the
right?
bath.
Yeah.
So that he could sort his moustache out.
Yeah.
And then I gave him money to go to the fun fair. So like people are like saying
It doesn't add up because the group, right, I'll tell you this because literally, the group had a large amount of tips that said about what was going on in the barber shop in the town. And Mum asked that none of those tips be allowed to be put onto the page, anything talking about the barber shop, which I think is odd. Now, we know that now she's saying, I sent Taylor to the barber shop. What for? Right? What for? And why is Taylor's picture in the original missing persons poster, why is it airbrushed into the barber shop? It doesn't make any sense. It's weird that half of the hand is invisible and stuff. I'll show you in a little while when I come off here. Why did you send him to the barber shop in town that people knew there was stuff going on in there? Why would you send your 14-year-old? I don't get it.
Out at this time, why is he this and that? He's a 14-year-old kid going to the fun fair. You don't expect him to go missing.
Sorry, hang on one second. I was just talking to my own daughter. That's fine. I can help you afterwards if you like. Huh? I was in my bedroom. I used it in there at one point. Sorry, I just started. The girls just wanted me for 1 second. So it doesn't bother me what time he's out at night. To be fair, because kids, it's summer. It's light outside.
Taylor's Taylor, yeah, and like our friends are the ones that rang at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, hysterically crying, saying Taylor's missing. A normal weekend for Taylor is he's just going to come back from his friend's house in like the afternoon or afternoon.
Yeah.
So I'm not expecting there to be an issue. And then people are writing online that I waited until the next day to report him missing when I didn't. I went to my mum, unlocked the door, I drove the whole of the Parker Trail up and down, and then I called the police.
Yeah.
Because that's what I comments.
I'm turning off the comments because I'm so fed up of hearing people say she's not emotional enough. Do you know how many days she's probably cried for?
Right, she says that she was none of this by the way involves it makes sense. So the 2 boys that reported Taylor missing, she says they phoned me about 4 p.m. the next day and said Taylor's missing, they're hysterically crying. She will later on allude to the fact these 2 boys say Taylor's dead, that he's in the river. Now I've spoken to those 2 boys and they say we weren't crying. I haven't cried. Like I didn't cry at all. I just said I thought he was missing because no one had seen him, right? And I tried to say I can't question other people's children like as hard as I could question her. But my thing to this day is still Taylor was a 14-year-old lad who sometimes stayed at his dad's, sometimes stayed at his nan's, sometimes stayed at his mum's, sometimes stayed at his girl's house, sometimes stayed at some of his friend's house. Them two boys left him the day before the day he went missing at 4 p.m, right? So what made you 24 hours later just decide, we better report him missing? You must have heard something or seen something that alluded to Taylor was in big trouble, that you needed to phone the police. Because we know what kind of lifestyle Taylor was leading. We know he was fighting all the time. We know that he was dabbling in this, dabbling in that. And we don't blame him for that, right? He's a kid. But what would make other children believe, not the parents, but actually other children believe they should phone the police and report Taylor missing? They have to understand. She had, I don't know what it doesn't make any sense. Hang on, I need to blow my nose quickly. I feel my head getting really bunged up.
Like when you've not slept for days, you've got no tears left to fucking cry.
I'm trying not to break, yeah, because then I'll lose my momentum of like, I've been on it, I've been searching, I've been speaking with the police, I've been doing everything.
People can't judge you on that. People can't judge you on that.
I'm
You've got to live.
now because I literally walked till 5 o'clock this morning looking for Taylor, and I haven't been to bed since because I've come home to my other son, and life continues. So, especially in like an hour.
Yeah, it's weird.
Do you know what I mean? Like, everything's been made out that it's fucked up, and that's really pissing me off. Because if Taylor came back right now, he'd be like, fuck you, Dad. Fuck you, this person.
Taylor would come back. At this point, he'd been missing for like 16 days. So he would come back from wherever he was, from life continued, and he'd be like, where have you been today? Fuck you, Dad. What? Taylor's mum.
That person.
I'm gonna have a vape quickly.
I just think
if you notice all the pictures, yeah, I'm not just slating Alex, but it really pissed me off today. He wouldn't answer the phone to me to discuss this as an adult. You listen to this now.
19 and 13.
But
yeah.
I don't know the point of what I was going to say was.
You said you tried to speak to his dad on the phone, but he didn't want to speak about it. But in every picture, something.
Oh yeah, in every picture, if you notice all his pictures, it's from like 5, 6, 8 years ago. Because why is that? Because he hasn't got any recent pictures of the kid.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm the one being targeted. It's all because his new girlfriend hates me for some reason.
Oh, she is.
I've said that I didn't want to co-parent with this random.
It's impossible to speak about Taylor because she always goes straight back to beating up Alex. Like we've just said, like people in the comments are saying, like obviously you're not being very emotional. You don't seem very emotional. Yeah. Well, what pisses me off in the picture is that every single time Alex doesn't have pictures of later pictures. He has no later pictures of him. They're only 8 years old. What the fuck does that matter? He's missing. We don't know if he's alive or dead. We don't know if someone hurt him. We don't know if he's in the river. We don't know. Why do you care what pictures his dad's got? It's fucking ridiculous. You know what happened. You know where Taylor is. At the very least, you know who's involved. And so you are literally talking bullshit. You literally want to save yourself, and you wouldn't be trying to save yourself so hard by deflecting if there wasn't something to save yourself from.
Which I think is fair. He's been for a lot of girlfriends. Yeah, I've only been with like one boyfriend. And we've had this whole cycle over and over again of like getting with the new girl and then like showing off that he's a great dad.
To be fair, right, if I was Alex, I would get a new girlfriend.
And then, like, do you know what I mean? It's just a roller coaster.
These conversations being.
Can I ask who reported Taylor missing originally?
Taylor's two friends, who then rang my youngest son and said, "Mum, they're crying. They're saying," but they're well known to the police, which is why the police are like, "What the fuck's going on?" We're like, "What the fuck's going on?" But they reported him missing and they were crying, so they know something happened. So that's when I went to West Widow and unlocked my mum's door just in case Taylor would walk back there, because he does walk good for Barnstaple sometimes. And I left the door unlocked for him, he wasn't there. And so then I come back, I reported it to the police. The police were shit. I had to go out and run to the train station and look by running around. And then I jumped on a police officer's bonnet because I was like, I need help now. Because no one was taking it seriously, and it took 6 days. 6 days.
No, it's
I
not.
know, that's ridiculous. I can't believe that. So what, you know the footage?
I don't know.
You know the footage of Taylor leaving the house with the smell of ice in his hand?
Yeah.
You know, what time is that taken?
8:15.
So that's taken at 8:15, and the last sighting of him is at what time? At the
10:42.
So 10:42. So in that time between 8:15 and 2.5 hours later, he'd gone somewhere. He'd been spiked.
I know where the whole timeline was. He went and got into the fucking pub. I don't know how. The boy's got no money, and he spent an hour in the pub.
You just said a minute ago, you give money to go to the fucking fun fest, so you know where he got money from. And let's not talk about the fact that Taylor was a regular in that same pub. So act like we're shocked. Oh, I don't know how the fuck he got in the pub. A, because he looks like he's about 30. B, because you gave him money. And I don't believe that you gave him money to go to the fun fair. You gave money because you sent him to the barber shop.
Then he got spiked somewhere. Then he walked for 15 miles.
No, I'm saying he's done that before because he doesn't like drugs.
Oh, right, okay. So I thought you were saying that night he got spiked and then walked.
No, he will disown friends for drugs.
It's one in Bear Street. I don't know what it's called.
He hates it. So the fact that somebody forced him to do this, which then turned out to be dodgy ketamine, PCP, and cocaine, and alcohol.
So now, the line that someone forced... That's it. It's the E pub. That's it, Emma. It's the Eberly pub. So someone forced him... It'd be gone with the E. I knew it did. So someone forced him to do a line of cocaine, right? Now, instantly she knows that it has PCP, ketamine and cocaine in it, right? Now, unless she's got a fucking Quantico FBI lab in her front room, nobody could possibly know to this day what was in it, because it would have taken over a month to test it for toxicology. Even if Taylor's body was found, they still wouldn't rush it through. It'd be over a month. I'm covering cases right now where we don't know pending because we're still waiting for toxicology to come back. So how did you know that PCP, ketamine and cocaine were in it, unless he did the line and then you've said, fuck, he fucked up. And someone said, fucking hell, Zoe, that's the lot with the fucking PCP and the ketamine in. That's the only way you could know. By the way, police agree with me in that I said, is there any way anyone would know or anyone would have told already what was in that? They said, because we wouldn't know. So it makes no sense. How would you know? The only way I could tell you, like, if my daughter drunk something she couldn't have, unless I knew what was in that cup. Oh, there was bleach in that cup. There was paint strip in that cup. There was paint in that cup. I was doing this with that cup. I wouldn't be able to tell you. Like if my daughter got spiked in the pub, I'd be like, she got spiked. You say, what with? I said, I don't know, it wasn't me that spiked her. It makes me so sick, man.
Did you think someone died that night from it?
They nearly died. Two of the members of the group got hospitalised for the whole weekend, and one of them nearly died. So this matey boy, who's like the ringleader, he's fucking disappeared. Taylor has actually disappeared, and the other two ended up in hospital.
So why aren't police telling this true story then? 4 boys get spiked with drugs, 2 nearly died, 1's nearly dead, Taylor's gone missing completely. It's a much more bigger reason why he's fallen into the river, why he's not acted right, why he's smashing car windows.
I've had so many messages. I've been told that he's been thrown in the river. I've been told that he's a rent boy now. I've been told that his organs have been sold. I've been told that he's come over on a boat. I've been told all this fucking disgusting shit.
Right. What are these boys saying who were with him that night? What are the 2 that are still around saying?
So it's gone a little bit quieter now, but at the start they were very upset.
So they're crying.
But they were all saying Taylor's dead, right? So I'm like, what the fuck is going on, yeah? Because he literally just went to go to the fair and stay at his friend's house for the night.
Right.
And I left my bedroom door unlocked because it's a house share. I left my bed.
To me, she's mixing truth with fantasy, right? Reality and fantasy, right? At some point, someone may have said, Taylor's dead, right? Because the boys who were saying that they spoke to Zoe say, look, I didn't say that. I wasn't crying. I don't know where Taylor is. I left him at 4 p.m. that afternoon. So that to me is like, if you know Taylor was spiked by those things, did you see something? There's always truth in the light. And we've seen these pretty much happening before. where somebody knows something's happened, so they're like, oh, this happened to my baby, someone kidnapped them, and then we later find out you did that thing. Like it feels to me like if Taylor has been spiked and has some kind of overdose, you have been watching it, because I just can't distance myself from that, because the other people are saying, yeah, it's literally later on you'll hear her say that Taylor comes back to the house, but he only comes back to check if his brother's asleep or not, if he's having a nap. Which it seems like a lot to come all the way back to the home in Bear Street just to look at his your brother and go, okay. And later on, she says her son is out with the boys who were spiked, her younger son. So he wasn't in the home. Who was where?
Door unlocked so that he could use here if he wanted to come from town. Because I live in Bear Street. So it's easy for him to just come back here. And that he is never, ever worried about being in trouble. Ever.
Why would he?
Worries.
When you're at the
He
centre
doesn't care about that sort of thing. So the people saying that he's in hiding, there is zero chance. Zero chance, because he would have just come back and said, hey, I smashed.
He's not going to be worried about getting in trouble, is he? Let's face it. If the people raising you doing mad shit, you're not going to come in and be worried. My kids would be worried if they had to come in and tell me, like, me and my friend have smashed a car, or me and my friend have taken this, mum. Or I've started vaping or whatever. Like there's always times as a parent you see those things. The first time you find a vape in your 16-year-old's room and you're like, is this yours? And they're like, but there is no, for a child who's saying like there's zero chance he's ever going to be worried about getting in trouble, it's not a thing. That tells me there are no boundaries in your home. There's not a thing in our home. There's nothing you could do that will get you in trouble. Like there's no rules.
This car or whatever he would have said. But he wouldn't have hidden it and gone into hiding.
Yeah, I get that. It's
Hey.
But that's what's so frustrating about the police not taking it seriously, because he was injured. Everyone's asking on these fucking comments how he's injured, yeah, right? So he punched the car window and he cut from his wrist to his elbow open.
right.
On the inside.
So the police on the inside where all his veins are. So the
And the
police
police knew this from the fucking first day that he was missing, right? And they didn't even class him as high risk. They didn't do nothing until 6 days later.
So police
So
knew he
for
had cut his arm open and he was spiked. So police knew both that he had been spiked and he had cut his arm open.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Right, so so I'm saying to them, how is he not a vulnerable child, yeah? And then, so they said, it's because my kids aren't under social services because they didn't need to be, yeah?
Yeah.
But they were under social services because there is at least 2 registered MASH meetings. Thank you, Bobby. And thank you so much. And a MASH meeting is a multi-agency response meeting, which involves social services, the police, the schools, and any home education programs. Thank you, Bobby. So he definitely is known to social services. And if social services aren't involved here, where the fuck are they going to get involved? Thank you so much, Bobby. Because this is a high-risk case. I'll behave, he's 14 for fuck's sake. Exactly, TT. Exactly. He's just a kid.
To be able to make him high risk, they are now. Just to push
Patient
Taylor
must
along.
meet you, they'll become high risk.
But I have nothing to hide. I'm not, like, literally, this is my baby whose birthday is tomorrow. He's my protector. He's literally my world. And the thought of not knowing where he is killing me, because I could cope a bit more if his body turned up in the river. But the fact that his body hasn't, and I've searched relentlessly.
He's my baby, he's my world. I would cope much better if we could find his body in the river. Do you know why that is? Because then there'd be no more pretense. Taylor's been found, no more questions, no more having to keep up this questioning and this pressure. Now tell me, one of the greatest pressures you can feel is when you have to hide something. And I mean that in all circumstances of life. So say somebody is from the gay community, they can't tell their family, they feel worried, they're living a lie. Their life is a slog, it's hard. No matter how happy you are, you're living a lie. Same when someone's trying to hide something in a crime and they've hidden something for a year, they've been on the run, they've had to move around. At the moment the police arrest you, you kind of think, let's get this done. Thank fuck, it's over, right? And you're saying, like, I can't cope with him missing. I'd feel much better if I could just find his body in the river. This isn't a long-term missing person. This isn't having a conversation with Jack, who's missing from Bristol, who's been missing 2 years, that his mum's like, for 2 years I've wondered where he is. I've wondered if someone was hurting him, raping him, had done something to him, if he was in the dark, if he was hungry. This is a boy at this point that's been missing just over 2 weeks. 2 weeks, and you're saying, yeah, the river has been checked.
Yeah. Makes me, like, it's just because then your possibilities in your head are endless. That's why I can't sleep. Like, so I went to the doctors, they put me on diazepam so that I don't go out and kill everybody.
But with diazepam, so I don't go out and kill everyone.
It's the unknown that's the worst, isn't it? The unknown that's stretching out ahead of you that you just don't know.
It's horrific. That's what I'm saying. If I knew that he fell off the bridge because he can't swim, or was that an accident, you know, that's a general accident.
So can he not swim?
No.
No,
he's ADHD, like autistic, dyslexic. He can't tie.
So we now know, she said just then, no, he can't swim because he's ADHD, autism and dyslexic. So he's the mixed bag of all those things. That's why he can't swim, which isn't a thing, by the way. Many people with autism who can swim. I've got ADHD and I can swim. I can even breaststroke. So I have ADHD and I say weird stuff like that, but I can swim. And I have been able to swim since I was little because I live in Devon and we live near a sea. They're not even connected, but we've since found out that he doesn't have autism. He is not diagnosed with ADHD, although he shows traits, and we don't think he has dyslexia. So you have just made up that your son has 3 SEN issues for no reason. For no reason. And this shows me that something may have happened, like an overdose, accidental, and he's been placed in water. Because you want us to know 100 times during this interview, he can't swim. If he's in the river, he can't swim. Now, if he's gone off the bridge, or it was an accident, now surely if he's gone off a bridge, it can only be an accident unless you're saying he's been placed off the bridge. That's weird words to me. I would just feel better if I could find him in the river. Oh, you know, no, he can't swim. He's got this, this, and this. Hayley, could you please reply last bit you said here? Has he fall off it? She just said, I would feel better if he fell off the bridge. If he went off the bridge or it was like an accident. His dad, his aunties, everyone who knows him, his friends even say, like, she says in a minute he can't even tie his own shoelace or tell the time. And his friends are like, dude, he absolutely can tell the time. Like all of us kids, he reads it off his phone. It's just weird.
Or tell the time on stuff like that.
Can't tell the time on stuff.
So why haven't they put out that he's vulnerable either, that he's got autism or any of those things?
Yeah, exactly. This is why I homeschool him, because he can't be in a school environment because it's like too much for him.
Right, okay. So, oh my God, sorry, my kids are just going outside the car. I don't want anyone to see them. Yeah, it's just
I'm literally
all of
melting
these things
in my loft bedroom right now. Like, it's so hot up in this loft.
It's
Yeah. What were you saying? Any other questions? Because I'm totally happy to answer questions. But
just
like when
truthfully.
Alex put that post and I tried to call him to talk about it, he wouldn't answer me, he wouldn't answer our daughter, and he wouldn't answer our son. And they were
what made him take it down if he didn't speak to any of the family? Did he just regret
So
it?
this even shows, right? I couldn't get through to my ex because he didn't want to speak to me. So then I sent my daughter to phone him. Then I sent my son to. The same children you just told us had disowned him, right? So why would you? If I have an argument with my ex-partner over money or whatever, I don't then say to the girls, Taylor, ring his phone for me and see if he answers. I would never drag them into that. I would never even borrow their phones to do it. Because if he doesn't want to answer the phone to me, then I shouldn't be using the girls' phones to do it. It's bizarre. Like, everything, this wording is so bizarre. And why can't you just stick to the conversation? Like, she still hasn't told me properly who was the first person to report Taylor missing that I asked 20 minutes ago, because we've gone through madness. Again.
I don't know. Somebody must have said something.
So do the police know that there was a physical fight between Taylor and his father the week before we were missing?
Yeah. Because
They do.
rang the police.
Was Taylor in trouble for that? No. So it was him that beat up his dad, not his dad that beat him up?
Yeah, he beat up his dad.
Okay.
Listen to words.
And robbed him.
And robbed his dad.
He felt let down by his dad for all of these years that he hasn't been there for him, and he's like saying, you're not a real man, like you're a pussy, do you know what I mean? So he just asserted his dominance, which is wrong, but also at the...
Do you know that's how I would talk about a dog? A dog asserting his dominance in a park. Like if a dog like pushed another dog out the way, I'd be like, look, he's asserting his dominance. To use those language where he wanted to let his dad know he wasn't a real man, that he was a pussy. That's what you've told him. No boy thinks that about his dad, right? The fact that you've allowed him or pushed him or conditioned him, in your own words, thank you, Rachel, thank you, Pammy, to say that his dad was those things, and then say he at 14 wanted to assert his dominance. That is why I said her talk of Taylor is very sexualised. Not that I'm saying that she was essaying him, but she's talking about him in an adult way. He's a beast, he's muscly, he's my protector, he asserts his dominance, he wants to let other men know they're a pussy. Like, those words are very sexualised behaviours, and social services and things will be very interested in that. Yeah, she did.
That was his closure that he needed with his dad.
His closure was to beat his dad up and rob him.
Making about that he lives with him and that all of this shit, when none of anything Alex is writing is true. So usually I wouldn't write to it because I let him, like, I just, silence is better than fucking talking. But when I come on here and you're like reading about me, it's just like, I understand that you're...
I personally don't believe that she's good at silence, to be fair. I don't believe that, because all we've had is word vomit here. I don't even know what to say.
Doing your thing, like a true crime was my and my daughter's life. We can't watch it right now because of this. But I mean, without having come in and speaking on it as in speech, I'm not going to get across how it actually really is. And I was trying that in the messages, but they were just coming across like you don't really see them.
I understand that, and I would always give you a voice on this platform because you're Taylor's mum, as much as I would give Alex a voice, and that was his post. That's the most we've heard from Alex, and he put all this stuff up, this word vomit, that we all of a sudden, oh my god, we knew none of this, and it felt kind of like
one message from some random woman saying, "Hey, do you? I just thought I'd let you know that like Alex has sent me messages asking to get like substances off of somebody, and that they were worried about his behaviour today and that he was being a bit crazy."
So
and
she's got a message from a random woman who said, your ex Alex, who I don't know because I'm a random woman and I don't even know how I knew you were connected to him, he is asking for substances and now he's acting crazy. I wonder if that's a voice in her head that's doing that. Weird people.
After the post that he made.
Right, okay. I can understand that.
So all I've done is tried to move out of a domestic violence situation and then got made homeless because of that. And then so Taylor was meant to stay at his dad.
I'll be really honest here. There was domestic violence between her and the partner that she moved out of most recently. That was a man called Paul. That wasn't Alex. The only reason I'm putting that out right now is because I'm fed up with the same narrative. Like, she moved out of the last home because she was living in that home with Paul and he wasn't very nice to her or the children. And that's as far as I'll go with that. But it wasn't Alex. Alex was already in a different situation. They hadn't been together for time. That wasn't why she moved out of the last home. Alex wasn't living in the last home.
2 nights because he didn't want to stay in like a travel lodge or whatever. I got offered this flat share as a temporary thing just so that we weren't on the streets because the actual council were not helping us. So I've been in here and I had to wait the 6 months out, which Taylor's still been staying here. So he'd rather share the room with me than his brother, right? And I had to stick out so that I've got the local connection because my boy goes Pilton.
He doesn't, does he?
Okay.
He hasn't been registered in school for over a year.
Nothing untoward, it's just actual, like, life.
Yeah, I get that. And it's just obviously we have to...
This woman yesterday, she wrote on when I said 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, somebody wrote like, she definitely knows what happened to her son. If I knew what happened to my son, I wouldn't be freaking out here searching. I wouldn't be losing my mind. I wouldn't be scared shitless. I wouldn't be anything if I knew where my son was.
Yeah, the one thing I struggle with a little bit is why nobody from the family has put out like he was spiked that night, or like, oh my god, like we're so worried his friends said he was dead. Like all of the things that we'd like kind of push out into the algorithm, all of the things. More people talk about, more people searching, being desperate. I haven't even heard any of you say that he's got ADHD or autism.
Well, you heard it from me because I'm his mum and I'm telling you everything.
Yeah, but I just like up to now, like if we attach 20 posts that they're send children, it would have gone mad.
Right, so he can't tie knots, he can't tie shoelaces, he can't tell the time, he can't. He's just brute force, big muscle man.
Can you hear those words? He cannot tie knots, cannot tie shoes, can't even tell the time. All he is a brute muscle man. And you wonder why Taylor Charlton was going around Barnstaple and Bideford beating people up. Because the only worth he was ever shown was in his physical strength. So when you tell a child that's all you are, that's all you are, that's all you are, you're a protector, you're a muscle man, you're this, that's how he'll go out into the world. And that's why I tell you every single time these people keep coming forward that he's fighting. He was weaponized as a fighter. He had a six-pack that the parents often have pictures of him with, a six-pack out. Like literally I would say to my child, button up your shirt. Like, I'm your parent, I don't want to see that shit, man. The same as my little girls and stuff. If they're swimming and we're taking pictures of the pool, I'm like, right, put your towels on, girls. Because it's just a thing in my head. Like, I'd never say to my girls, like, if my girls had like flat stomachs, which you obviously do, I don't go, when you pose picture, go like this with your fist and lift, show from your belly button. It's weird behaviour. He's 14, right? And if you truly believed Taylor is out in the world and he's coming home, God forbid he ever hears the way his mother speaks about him. She might as well have said, well, he's really duh. He can't do knots, he can't tie laces, he can't swim, he can't do this. He's basically just brute muscle man. No wonder Taylor's worth and the need he felt to protect himself was because you'd had him in a home at some point where he'd had to stand up, he'd had to fight your ex-boyfriend to protect you, and that's why he felt that he had to protect you and had to protect other people. What if he's going to come back? How do you think a teenager is going to feel when people out there, people his own age, go, mate, you can't tie your fucking shoelaces. Dude, you can't tie a knot. Imagine you can't tell the time. Like, I would never tell you in this live right now, ever, my children's weaknesses. None of your fucking business. You'll hear their accomplishments. You'll hear all the great things they do in the world. I am never going to say to you things in here that children outside of here can weaponize against my little girls. None of your fucking business. And do you know what? All of the things they can't do is a reflection probably of me then, of not taking the time. If your child at 14 can't tie their shoelaces, you never took the time to buy those little board books with the laces, loop, swoop and pull, because let me tell you, many people in here with send children who do tie up their shoelaces. They play musical instruments, they swim, they can name every single train from here to Timbuktu, they know every single postcode, they know numbers, they do the maddest stuff. So the limits that Taylor had is because you're limited as a fucking mother because you were too busy on the crack pipe. Facts. I'm so fed up with the way she speaks about him. It's fucking horrific.
But boy, 14-year-old boy, right? So he might look like that, but he's actually really clever. I just found out recently that he's been tutoring 2 girls secretly with their maths because he's actually really good at maths, and he's been secretly tutoring them so that they would get through their GCSEs.
So a boy that cannot tell the time, hence he cannot do the very basic things with numbers of telling the time, is actually out there tutoring people for maths. So all of the things that would take skill in numbers, he cannot do. But 2 children who want to pass their GCSEs went, you know that dyslexic boy, the one that can't tie his laces and can't tell the time? Should we get him to tutor us? Yeah, we'll go for that. Mad.
That's
yeah, hasn't passed his own GCSEs.
Really sweet. So yeah, we'll keep appealing for him, but obviously we have to discuss what his dad said because it's his dad. Like, and I know as much as you two aren't getting on. You are both his parents.
And I mean, I've had him blocked the whole time, but I had to unblock him just for communication. And I said to him, I will do open and transparent communication, but it never ends like that. It always he goes.
He could tell, she said he could tell the
But
time.
I've learned over the years how to be calm. Hence now, everyone thinks that I'm not emotional. Well, the fucking doctors have put me on diazepam so that I can sleep.
A minute ago, so you stop killing people. Do you know what? It's really easy to be calm when you're wrecked. It really is easy to be calm when you're wrecked.
Lying here, sweating my tits off, thinking my whole body hurts from a 7-mile walk last night and all of the drama this morning.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming on here and telling us the truth. It's been nice to have some questions answered because it makes so much more urgency in his case now because we know so much more information.
Yeah.
Right, so the urgency is he was vulnerable, groomed by an older group of boys that the police are aware of, and used as muscle and used as you get that out of the car, you go smash that up, you do this, you do that. Impressionable, because again, he has always been impressionable. So he was with the wrong people, and I don't know what frame of mind he was in because he was so the shop down the road to ask me if I wanted to see the CCTV. I said no.
Thank you, sir.
Because it shows him going in there saying, I've got blue in my veins, I'm invincible, nobody can kill me, please try and kill me. I can jump from building to building. He said he could jump from Halfords to B&Q, right? So this was my worry, is that...
Right, so we now know that CCTV does not exist. That never happened. Isn't it weird that Mum had the vape that was blue and now Taylor is in a shop saying, I have blue stuff running through my veins? I have to go check WhatsApp. Good. Amazing. It's
After he's run off, he's come into contact with someone and said, I'm invincible, and they said, let's have a fucking try then. Do you know what I mean?
The profound effects of PCP are terrifying.
I didn't know what that was until
Angel done.
So is it a hallucinogenic?
Yeah, it's I only know because Steve O from Jackass years ago took PCP and then went on holiday, and he was thinking he was going to be able to jump from building to building. He was invincible. He was up for 15 days. He was off his head. He was trying to bear hug people.
She goes, I only recently knew what it was, and then she goes, is it a psychedelic? You just said you recently found out what it was. Now let me just tell you something. The first thing I'm doing, if I'm sat at home and I've worked with many families of the missing children and missing husbands, wives, they feel powerless. You're not supposed to go out physically searching in case you come across their body, etc. Or obviously you touch evidence because you are someone who comes into contact, right? Now the first thing, if you phone me, right, and say, Hayley, you know your child that's going missing, they took ketamine that night. The first thing I do is go to Google and say, what are the effects of ketamine? Right? Because I want to know what state my child is in. I want to know they're likely to be dead. I want to know they're likely to have a heart attack. I want to know they're likely to overheat. So instantly I'm going to educate myself on every single part of this fucking case. If a kid uses a word to me, like pink cocaine, I'm like, what the fuck is pink cocaine? What is in pink cocaine? Because I don't personally know, right? So then I'm going to go and I'm going to Google that. And I'm going to go, oh my God, fuck, it's all that stuff in there. So instantly I'm going to educate myself. So the fact that you're saying, well, I don't really know what PCP is, but yet you're telling me for 8 days you believe that your son was spiked with it is mental to me.
He was going off his head, so it's hallucinogenic that makes you feel like nothing can take you down.
It lasts that long?
Yeah, it lasts for days.
Right, so this is what my biggest issue was. So when he first went missing, I was crying my heart out because I love the sound of rain, but the thought of him, it was 2 degrees when he went missing, right? He's in a T-shirt and he's injured, and it's 2 degrees. This is why I didn't sleep or eat 6 days, because I felt like if he's not in bed, I can't be in bed, because it just feels hypocritical. Like if I don't know that he's not eating, why am I eating? Yeah, I'm still trying to keep my strength up for the other kids. Yeah, they are important, but It's just something that I'm really struggling with, not knowing where he is.
I literally, when I speak to missing persons parents, they always say, are they cold? Are they hungry? Is someone keeping him? Are they looking after him? Like, it's
At the
always
start, it was like freezing and it was raining, and I just kept crying.
That's the thing, right? Not like I listened to the rain and I cried because Taylor could be out in it. It's like I used to love the sound of rain. Now I don't, because he might be out in it. Everything's about like what she can't get from a situation, and you just see those little word plays. And it's like, well, I don't eat anymore because Taylor can't. Taylor's also not doing drugs, but you are. It's just, well, he's missing. Like, how do you know? And now she's telling people now, because she was on so many on diazepam, that's why she doesn't know anything she said in this interview. Well, she doesn't seem confused. She's quite clearly putting across a narrative, just lies. It's not like I'm asking her questions and she's going a lot. She's mumbling for sure, but she's talking weird shit. Now her 13-year-old son sat next to her and she's like, well, I've heard he's a rent boy. I've heard he's taking his organs. It just makes you sleepy. It just makes you literally feel like you would definitely account it to the lack of emotion, but this is crazy.
Because usually I love that sound because I'm in a loft room, like it sounds nice on the Velux windows, like the rain, but it just made me think of him out there somewhere cold. Like, but now that it's too hot, it's the opposite. Like, I haven't even been able to leave the house today, it's too hot.
Yeah, it's too hot.
So the fact that he's gone from wherever he is, it's gone from extreme weather of 2 degrees to 29 degrees. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that. It's
I was angry at the police the other day because when they did a press conference, they said they searched the whole of the river and the whole of the land search had been completed. Well, it bloody well hadn't, because I was down and I saw the empty old Civic building. I said, you checked there? They were like, no.
So you're mad at the police because they haven't searched the Civic building, but you as his mother won't go out because it's too hot, right? Wait up. The police, let me tell you something. The police in this investigation have done what they can with what they have. And what the police have had to do is untangle a web of spaghetti because nothing makes fucking sense. And the police like us don't have a fucking timeline. And the police like us have done background checks into every single person in this case and realised they're dealing with drug addicts, liars, thieves and people with convictions. They're also dealing with a mum with a boyfriend with 15 different properties, including millions of storage containers and lots of different vehicles. They're dealing with all this shit. On top of that, they can't even question who's who because Jamie West is her landlord, her partner, her business partner, blah, 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 blah. Her other son, Jack, was asleep in bed, out taking an overdose, out with his friend, talking to... Taylor was fucking everywhere that night. He was in a pub, in the Barbers, at the fun fair, in Ola's back garden, at one point because there's pictures of him there. This boy in an hour and 45 minutes was literally like all over Devon and Barnstaple.
I said,
By his mum's words. Try being the police in this investigation.
No. I said, have you checked Torrington because he's got friends all in Torrington? No. So all they've done is just go up and down.
You check his friends.
I already sent 6 people into Shopland's building before they went and did it. So I knew that Taylor wasn't in there.
So why do you want the police to search it?
Those shoes were planted because they're clean as fuck.
The shoes are planted.
I apologise. But like literally,
they're clean as fuck.
They're brand new shoes that I bought him. So they're clean and they do not look like they've travelled down a river.
So the shoes are clean. They are brand new shoes. Which is weird because now the police DNA tests have come back that they probably are brand new shoes because they don't have Taylor's DNA in them. So it's weird that she's just said, "Oh, the shoes are completely clean. They're brand new." Because yes, they are.
This is the thing. Like we now know he's much less likely to have gone in there on his own because he can't swim. So all of the theories where people say maybe he's hiding from the police.
I don't think they're Jamie shoes. Yeah, she did say Jamie shoes. Didn't she in the message show last night?
Them in the river.
That makes
sense.
And
then he started struggling to get back.
No, they just chucked him in the river. I don't know. That's one of the theories. Other theories are organ harvesting. Other theories are everything is just fucked up stories because none of us.
So rather than consider that he is in county lines or at his dad's house. The theories are more that he's been organ harvested, he's now a rent boy, or that his friends have pushed him into the river knowing he can't swim. They are easier things to accept as a mother of a missing person rather than Taylor's at a friend's house. His dad's organs harvested when you cut someone open and kill them for the purpose of taking their heart, their liver, their lungs, and putting them in another body. So someone's stolen his, they've decided to cut him open and just take his organs. That's an easier theory to believe.
Actually, no.
Right, okay. It's,
But yeah, that picture of him in the blue was the day that he went missing.
yeah, this is the day we're missing. This is Taylor here.
And so
Someone don't have to
him in the house. So this is him at 5 o'clock at the barber's here, in this picture.
Yep.
And then 8 o'clock is when he's on the doorbell camera.
Right, okay.
But he came back in to see if his brother was having a nap.
Right.
So that's what he came back for. But his brother was having a nap. So he went.
The first time she says, I sent him to the barber's, he came back, he made me get out of the bath so that he could cut his moustache. So that's what happened. I gave money for the funfair. In this one, he has gone to the barber's, he's gone out again at 8 o'clock. At some point, he's come back just to see his brother, which would lead you to believe, like, why did Taylor need to come back in that moment to see his brother? And actually, we talk about him coming back much later on because your timeline's so fucked, and Taylor never leaving that home again. You have to understand this kind of, and when I say I question Mum about the things she says, and people are like, why are you bullying? Why are you being horrible to this woman? I'm just using the Mum's own words. Like, we did this interview. The day we did this interview, we just thought Taylor was missing. We thought he's a 14-year-old, perhaps a runaway. Maybe something could happen around the river. As soon as he's 15 now, he's had a birthday in the last week. But when we talked about this case, and then we did this thing with Mum, I ended this interview like, I had a list of notes. At one point, I'd thrown the pen away because I thought I don't even have anything else to write. And it was going mad.
Back out, and that's when I found out that he was out doing crazy shit. Like, he offered a 40-year-old man to have a race with. As in a running race.
Yeah.
Against the train.
Against the train.
Right, okay.
So he was not in the right state of mind.
Right, okay, no, obviously. I think despite all of those substances, I wouldn't be surprised. He probably was only still standing because of his size.
And the adrenaline. But the fact that he had cut from his wrist to his elbow really concerned me. And I thought for that first 24 hours, I was out searching, thinking I'm going to find him bleeding out somewhere or hypothermia.
Well, this isn't true because police had confirmed to the parents within very short time of Taylor going missing that injury to Taylor's arm was not enough to cause a lot of blood loss, and it wasn't a serious injury. The police had gone back to the car. They knew there was no blood trail, there was no blood found in Tesco's, and there was no blood found on the shoes or around the shoes. So we know that Taylor, even on the distance that he ran, there was no blood. There was no blood spotted. And we know that if he'd hit any kind of artery, he would have bled out and passed out within 30 seconds. So the police had already put their mind at rest about that. So he's not likely to have bled out somewhere, unless he's bled out from something else. Because that injury, we know with if it hit an artery or whatever here, he would have been in severe trouble, life-threatening trouble, very, very quickly.
Now, I'm searching the rivers and thinking I would rather find my son in this terrible state that he'd be in after 18 days in the water and the elements than somebody else find him.
Right, okay. I can understand that.
I would rather find my son in whatever state he's in after being out in the elements than even anyone else find him. Why? Why would you want to find your son's body like that? Why would you want to be the one? Why a minute ago when she said, I would rather than him being missing, I'd just rather find him in the river? What? That's a mother, to me, to be fair, that you've already accepted he's gone. Because there is no emotional attachment to that. I know mothers now that I've interviewed on my page whose children are missing for 10 plus years who say, I will never accept they're dead until I see it. Never. And I know parents whose children have died through murder who still right now, years after the fact, set a table plate for them at Christmas, buy them Christmas presents, and they say, say Charlie Costa's mum, her son's been dead years now, from knife crime. It was his sentencing 2 years ago, yesterday, that's why I put a video up. Now, his mum texts him good morning every morning to this day. She hasn't been on holiday because she can't leave the home just in case he comes home. Okay, they leave a light on for him. They've seen him. They were with him. They held his hand when he died from knife crime. But his mum has never accepted it. And she says to me, like, you know, she says on, her husband says on here, not to me, you know, she texts him every morning, "Good morning, Charlie, I love you." His bedroom is exactly the same. Now, reality-wise, they know he's not coming back. But they don't accept it emotionally. He's still a part of every single day. We know that Lee Boxall, who went missing over 40 years ago, his bedroom is a time warp back to the 70s and the 80s. He went missing in the 80s. And his parents say, there's always the hope. There's always the hope. I've never heard Lee Boxall's parents say, "I'd rather he was found dead than in a river than me know he's missing." Because while someone's still missing, you still have some of that hope, right?
Yeah. Well, thank you for coming on and speaking to us and clearing some things up. It's made things a lot clearer for us about the circumstances around.
It's a lot clearer. I'm such a liar. I'm at the moment, so I'm just looking down like...
aggressive. I was just like, you know, I've just TikTok, somebody's talking about me, about my ex-husband, like, he's a prick. So, you know what I mean?
I'll tell you, Nick.
I understand that, and I apologise. I just was sharing every post.
Both of his other kids would back me up on that and say that they disowned him too, and that he is
manipulated. I conditioned them.
It's not a me issue.
Okay. Well, thank you so much.
Do you know what I actually thought in the moment? I thought, I last took drugs in 2005. Why am I still getting the effects? Right? I actually thought, I've just come up on that ecstasy from 2005. I was literally thinking, it must have been lodged somewhere because I've just fucking come up, right? And I literally thought, where's the fucking glow stick? I was at a point where I thought, if I was on something right now, this would make so much more fucking sense. I actually started thinking, like, I'll just start licking a frog in the gut. There's got to be something that puts me on a level here because I'm fucked. I was literally going to phone the accident emergency and say, look, I dropped back in 2005. I've just fucking come up. And I'm in a place of fucking deviance. Something's going fucking wrong.
Coming on, and we pray that Taylor is found really soon, hopefully for his birthday.
I was literally there, like...
Oh my God. I really hope so.
Like, he was found today before his birthday.
I spoke to that Peter guy.
Peter Folding?
The rescue guy.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
I spoke to him like, maybe day 7.
Right.
And he said that the River Taw is the second strongest river in the UK, so he can't send divers down there. But then the police were like, well, we sent divers down there. And I'm just like, oh my God, why is everything such a bitch fit? Like,
he blocked me a long time ago.
Yeah, I understand. I'm surprised Peter Folding isn't offering to come down and help, to be fair, because he'd be able to use sonar even if he couldn't particularly dive the area.
Well, I'm thinking he could use, like, so I need Roll Key and Pilton Park River and out to wherever that leads, which is apparently Bradworthy Way. I need that checked because the police have only searched up and down the main river. They haven't searched any of these areas. They haven't been to Torrington, where there's a whole town. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I'm baffled. The police have not searched for 6 days, so...
And then the police had the audacity to turn around to me yesterday and say, Zoe, I feel like you're losing trust in the police.
I think you're losing your fucking mind, they probably said.
I don't have any trust in you, like, that you would ever fix anything. But it's only because I argued and said, like, that it's not fair that you're not updating me on stuff and all of this happening, and that you lied on the press conference saying that everywhere was searched when it wasn't, and then they told me, oh, it feels like you're losing trust with the police, and got all shitty with me and put the phone down.
I'm under the same
if they had a conversation like this one, I can imagine they go dial tone click.
Well aware of how they work. I just can't believe they didn't look for 14 for 8 days.
I feel like I got on day 14, 15, 16. So I had nobody before that. No one.
It just baffles me. Knowing that Taylor was vulnerable with autism, ADHD, that he had been spiked with something, that he had cut his arm completely open, that was suffering blood loss.
He just had this incident in front of all the cameras at Tesco and the security. So it's not like it's a secret. Yeah. Nobody's trying to keep it a secret.
Yeah.
Taylor likes a scrap, right?
Taylor likes a scrap. Yeah.
Yeah, which would stem from anger issues. hence he's just.
No wonder he's fucking angry.
Yeah.
Can you imagine Taylor? What's for dinner tonight, Mum? We could play Scrabble. No, Mum, what's for dinner? What do you think of tulips? No, Mum, what's for dinner? I've just put a bridge out of fucking spaghetti in the kitchen, Taylor. What's for dinner? No wonder he's fucking angry.
Yeah, I get that.
So, I'm just saying, I ain't no fucking monster. I'm a mum that's working her arse off to try and balance everything.
Okay, well, yeah, no, we
The truth
really
and lies.
support you with
Your
finding
mum tried to
Taylor.
hide
We
something
support
a
Alex
lot.
with finding Taylor. Sorry, what Taylor you found?
Like, a lot of people said that when they found out that there was drugs involved, which is not even Taylor's fault, right?
No, it isn't.
She was forced into that. They're saying, oh, I would never have helped you. I would never have fucking looked for your kid. And
I don't think people mean Taylor's drugs when they say that. I think people in Barnstaple, who, by the way, have still been looking to this day, felt like they'd been lied to. And I feel like they feel like, after seeing the interview, blindsided more than any of us could, because they've been out physically searching the heat. They've taken their children out, their dogs out. They've been searching. Now they realise they've probably not even been searching in the right fucking place, because you're lying constantly. And even the trainers now that they believed meant he would be in this particular area. You're yourself say they're brand new, they're clean. So I can imagine you did. And like, where are you supposed to search if you still don't know where he went missing from? And also, if I was being really honest, if I lived in Barnstaple, I wouldn't even be talking about this case, because of the dangerous people involved, the Jamie West, the other young people involved, the names that have been bashed around. Keep yourself safe. You have to. Your main consideration is for your own children. And at this point, I wouldn't want to be bumping into some of Mum's friends at the side of the river, personally.
all of this stuff. But at the end
And
of the
that
day,
will fail
he's still
Taylor
14.
because of this
I
shit.
don't care what he's done. I don't care if he's murdered someone. I don't care if he's done anything. The fact of the matter is he's still 14.
Like if he's
Yeah,
murdered
no, I
someone.
would never ever judge him for that. Like, we always say,
No, but other people have.
I'm talking about the drugs.
It's
Other people have done that.
imagine those kind of people. Yeah, it's whatever Taylor was got involved in, been forced into, groomed into. Like, he is a kid, he's a child, and
Yeah, and then they didn't take it seriously, evidently. 6 days later, they decided to start searching.
that's why I said when I came live, like I said, I don't care about anyone.
There was women. There was literally
I'm trying to say goodbye for
a
15
girl
days.
that went missing, and they put a helicopter out, and then she was found within like 12 hours and got home. But
Because she was probably there to find, right? I believe no matter how Taylor is found, in what condition, in the river or not, Taylor would have been found a lot sooner had the police been given the whole truth. Right? Now, I fully believe that the police who are in that area know more than I ever could, and we're learning new stuff every single day. The police have been looking the whole time. If the police get involved and their local knowledge tells them straight away, and trust me, grasses and shit and local people would have come forward and said, look, Taylor Charlton's not alive, or Taylor Charlton is out of Devon right now. So the police then are not going to put thousands of pounds into doing these searches until they have reason to believe that's where Taylor is. Trust me, the police have way more than we could ever know. And trust me when I say the only reason the police come out to physically search that area at all was after the trainers had been found at the river. There was reason to search there. And as soon as they got a valid search area, they were straight out. There were helicopters, sonars and divers to search that area. And the police have made it quite clear that any place a direction points them in, they will search. But when Mum has been found by police in the last week to have archived messages of factual tips of where Taylor could have been at certain points, and instead of telling the police, she archived them to hide them, including on day one when he was said to be at someone's couch in Holsworthy, she hid that message. And when she was told on day 2 that Taylor's body had been put up on Dartmoor to teach him a lesson, she hid that message too, and only told the police 5 days later that he was thought to be up on Dartmoor. And the police said at that point, we're not going to put all the money into physically looking for Taylor because we couldn't recover him alive at this point, and Dartmoor is too vast. However, if he'd been told on day 1 when she was told, they would have gone up there and searched Dartmoor by air. So why would Mum physically hide searches to do with the barber shops, to do with Dartmoor, Holsworthy, Weymouth? Why wouldn't she all of a sudden? Because me personally, as soon as I've heard he's at a person's couch, I'm heading to that home. If I hear that he's out in Dartmoor, I would physically be searching Dartmoor. Mum to this day has not searched Dartmoor. So why has she not been up to Dartmoor? If you truly believe that that's where he was. The same in the last week, we heard 2 separate tips that Taylor had been seen in Weymouth. Where was any family members asking community, please, I need 500 people to meet me up in Weymouth. I will print up 10,000 posters. Let's all meet. I'll bring the water. I need people to flood the area. Nobody has used that Facebook group for searches. Nobody has offered out posters. Yeah, but she's obviously got fucking boyfriends. She can ride Jamie there, not him, the car. She can't ride Jamie there. She can ride Jamie's car. I don't want to put doing that. Not in the heat. Now, she could actually do that. If I had a Facebook page or I was administrative one or whatever for a missing person, I would be printing out 5,000 posters a day, and I would be putting a collection point for local people from Barnstaple, Middleford to come and collect poster packs. Number one. 3 people in my live yesterday said, I'm in Barnstaple and I've only seen 3 posters. The area should be flooded. Flooded. Every lamppost, every single gate from a school, from a shop, from a park. Everyone should know Taylor's missing. Now, the moment I hear he's in Bideford, Barnstaple, Swimbridge, Weymouth, Paynton, Devon, wherever, everyone heads to that area. Everyone heads to that area. And you don't just want to go just yourself. You want to say, right, I'm going to need 30, 40 people. We need to search the area. Taylor's been spotted there. You're going to cling on to every little sighting and every little bit of hope because you have no information. But yet Mum was asking people to remove those leads. Why remove the leads? We did a case last night, Lindsay Burbeck. You can look into it. She was a teaching assistant from up country. A 16-year-old boy murdered her, put her in a wheelie bin and then hid her at a cemetery, right? Now, the reason we covered that case was because they run a perfect community search operations. They got the Facebook page of 10,000 members. They met every single night. They would then put bottles of water out, high-vis jackets, and they would go, you go that way, you go that way, you go that way. And because of the searches, the military would show up, police would show up, people from neighbouring towns, and they were searching every single day. I obviously been blocked from the Facebook group because they said I was too awesome to be in it. But before that, I never saw any search that anyone local could go and get involved in. Only local people themselves saying, look, I'm going to search this area, I want my dog in this area, I did this. There was no leadership. There was no every single day there's going to be one of us down at this town hall. So if anyone's got any tips, anyone of his friends want to put anything forward, anyone wants to talk, they would be there. There's a new Facebook called Missing Taylor Charlton, I think. I'm allowed in that one. And all the people have gone to this new group. It's about, last time I looked, it was like 300 members because all of the people in there, most of them have put tips into the old group and either been blocked or been told they're not allowed to post certain things about finding him. No problem, nice. And so that's why the people have come out of there because they realise that group's been weaponised. Oh, what did you expect in this case? I'm quite new to this all. I'll tell you in a second. We'll just finish this last bit. Thank you, Andrea. Thank you, everyone, for the gifts as well. Which means we could do true crime full time.
There is no.
I said yesterday.
Yeah, like if this was a girl, they'll be like, oh my god.
Yeah, it's if anything has happened to Taylor, God forbid, the police are responsible.
If anything's happened to Taylor, I'd be like, oh my god. Okay, Central C, calm down.
I've sent them all of the breaches and all of the statutes. I've got a law and business degree, right?
Right.
I've sent them everything that they have broken and breached by not doing what they should have done. And that
God hope that police department that you have sent all of the statutes and laws they've broken don't hand your ass back to you and list you out a copy of every parenting rule you have broken, of every law you have broken, every safeguarding rule you have broken with your children, because you'll never be able to leave the house again for all the fucking paper.
That's the next day that they decided to put the chopper out.
Right, okay, so you have to push on.
But I've already held them accountable, so if Taylor dies, they're held accountable for manslaughter.
Hold up. If Taylor dies, it wasn't the police's job to know his whereabouts. The police can't police our children. The police aren't there to parent our children. If Taylor has died at the hands of someone dangerous from the drug trade, it's because he learnt at home that drug taking was okay. It was because he learnt at home that mum was on the pipe and dad was smoking weed and actually it was acceptable. So let's not put that on the fucking police. The police cannot be done for manslaughter because you took your eye off the fucking ball. And if we're looking to blame someone, most parents at this point would be like, it's my fault, I should know where he is, I should know this. Because us parents blame ourselves for things that aren't even our fault. If one of us forgets to pack lunch, we're like, oh my God, we're starving, our kids have got to phone school, I look so fucking bad. I'll walk for fucking 50 minutes, I'll bring them a packed lunch. Like, honestly, I promised them a packed lunch. We blame ourselves for the smallest things. So it's all very la-di-da and all very great to be like, oh, it's everybody else's fault. Is it? Is it?
like this happens, they're held accountable for everything, and they've got that in writing
Seriously.
that was sent. Because I've had to just chase everybody.
I'm going now, so I've got to put my little one to bed.
It's so.
Yeah.
This is why I don't do phone calls, because I can
sorry.
never get off the phone.
Oh, her phone's gone down. Her phone's down. What we'll do is we will.
I go, oh, her battery's like. Look at the sheer relief on my face when her battery dies. Thank you, God. Then the come down fucking started. I was literally like train spotting, I tell you. Went upstairs and just shit the bed.
That was a lot. Absolutely a lot. We have now so much different stuff that's never been put out. That he was groomed by older boys, that he was going around beating people up for these older boys, that he'd been spiked with drugs, that he was on, they had autism, that he had ADHD. My head is fucked with all of this, but this information should be put out.
That is
fucked. We will try really hard to get this live onto YouTube very quickly. So people
I've got this live and started licking the walls. Just like I'm just looking for reality through the wallpaper, just something. So anyone who's not seen that live before, you can understand, right? You can understand why very quickly after this case, after this interview, I said, Mum knows something, right? Now the Facebook group is now just being weaponised for hatred of Hayley Comet, which is fine because that's just my internet name. She doesn't even exist. You can hate all you want. I believe he probably was groomed by older boys that were Mum's boyfriend, as in men, or whatever. Like, honestly, wherever Taylor met the danger was around where his home life and those people. There's a reason why, there's a reason why I gave up the crime life. No, I'm joking. There's a reason why parents choose not to kind of, when you have children, like everything changes, right? People you hung around before, things you did before, we kind of cut that off because we things we would be okay with for ourselves, we wouldn't be okay for it with our children seeing or being around. This is just nuts, and you can imagine. Jay's gone anyway. Literally, everyone knows I wasn't laughing at that situation. When we cover cases like we do, and I'm heartbroken about Taylor being missing. I think I probably look hard for him harder than his own mother is, so I won't take that. But that interview was funny in the fact it was such a fucking head fuck and there was no facts from it. And it was even funnier when I said, thank you, everything's so much more clear now I've spoke to you, Zoe, because I was literally sat there thinking, I had that music, dun dun dun. I couldn't even imagine what was going on. But what I didn't get from that whole 1 hour and 32 minutes is we've got a big vigil next week for Taylor. We've got a place where we're going to light candles. We've got a place where we're giving out posters. We've got a massive search organised on the weekend, because from what I know, there's only been one organised search that was set up by his auntie on his dad's side, in which the mum turned up, kicked off, and got then straight back in the car and went home. Because she said straight away to the auntie, like, look at you trying to get clout, look at you using Taylor for this and this, as if like no one else, God forbid, could get anyone saying, oh good, the auntie's arranged this search. If I could be on Mum's side and just be working alongside her, I absolutely would. In any missing persons case, the family's not the enemy, right? But in some missing persons case, the family has to become the people you're most suspicious of, because where else are you supposed to go with this? Where else was I supposed to go? What was I supposed to listen to the madness and go, oh, it's a great woman here? It's a nightmare to me. And one of the things that sticks out to me in the beginning of the interview, I say, oh, you sure you want to do this with your son in the room? And she's like, yeah, no, he's fine. She turns to the camera, shows me him. And then I have to think about what situation now the 13-year-old boy's in. How long before he goes missing? Because he's around the exact same thing and he's not being safeguarded. Because if a mother will talk about drugs, drug dealing, organ harvesting, or any boy, oh my God, that spider is bigger than my fucking mum. Oh my, I'm just gonna put, oh, right, hang on. I've got to do something because it's got a brother. Hang on a minute. Okay. Oh, that is really... if anyone doesn't like animal abuse, it is okay. It's fine. I'm just putting outside in the rainbow greenhouse. It's got a brother as well. Right. I'm not... Oh, you lovely guts. They're absolutely fine. I'm going to put them outside together so they can stay as a family. I love God's living creatures. They'll be easier to move outside now their legs are off. But... oh, wow. No, they're absolutely fine. I'm just going to scoop you both up and put you in the garden where you'll be able to play and finally find your mum. Hang on a minute. Right. Don't worry about this. I'm just going to safely take them outside. I'm thirsty. The paddling pool's still up. Right. They were so sweet. They're fine. Right. I love spiders. They're very cute. I didn't want you to watch me put them outside because they are endangered and they don't like to be filmed. They don't consent to being on TikTok. Is a mod here, please? Okay, Lisa, have a look. I was just rescuing some animals, and obviously that's part of what I do when I'm not online. I am a bug rescue service. One of them has left this big brown stripe. One of them's left a big mark on my wall. I think they did a little love puff when I grabbed them. Oh, fucking gobshite I am. What is... You said someone's messaged me. Who's that? I don't... Yeah. Oh. Okay. One of his best friends posted this on the 26th of May. Doesn't seem very bothered by the fact his friend's missing. We're all drinking beer and sniffing something off the table. Oh, and he's got a sword as well. I can't show you the picture because it's loads of kids with no tops all sat together. But he's holding a massive sword. He's got his hand on his chin. And they're all drinking beer, sniffing weed. Two of them have got cuts all to their knuckles. That would worry me. I'll try and see one this bit. This would alarm me. Look at the size of his hand. And this was one of the boys reported him missing, by the way. Look at his hand. So they don't. I'm going to send you the whole picture, Jack, so you can have a look at it, because I, not that you want to see it because they're kids, but I literally just to see the weapon, etc. Because one of them is proudly holding a sword. We'll go. I want to see the song as well. Give me a second. What was it called? Oh. Oh, I can't spell. Not it's a real word. I want the word on road. On road lyrics, let's have a look. When you know about licking shots through the night because your rent paying and your couple wheels light. When I say I got Cardi, I mean the top B. Talk about rappers and I'm the top 3. Don't rock off white, but I've got the cream. But to cause havoc like I'm mod deep. You know me, I'm blowing pucker. What, the pie? Man gonna get nicked and sing like a gunner. Man get nicked and start singing. Never a guy's looking for a bringing. What are they bringing? Remember me and Hayes putting up for Ben. I wasn't there, and I'm not the Hayes in this lyrics, okay? And I wasn't up for Ben. And money grows on trees if it's peng. I have been called peng before. This one's a 10. I can tell by a cent. You should see what I do with a 10th. You should see all the flavours I'm cropping. Talk about the road because I came up shotting. Get through the door, I'm about to bring my squat in. Oh no, squad in, no one's squatting. Talk like a G, but they really ain't gang. Tried to shoot my man, but it jammed. The only shoot these boys have had is a fruit shoot, let's fucking be honest. You know how many men said they're going to brush me? With a hairbrush. How do you brush someone? Same old me, ain't on it when they buck me. I love buckaroo, especially on a rainy evening. Apart from the jumpy bit, the ADHD's not good with that. I'll fucking literally give everyone a heart attack. I tell you when buckaroo goes off. You know how it is. Rule 1, get the cash. Rap how I live. Yeah, I live what I rap. Done a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And do you know how the game is? New day, new money on the same shit. Done a night shift, then a day shift. Don't graft, then I ain't getting wages. If I was your mum, I'd slap you them pages. The other day I told my chick that I'm changing. What? You're going trans? Next day I was back on the same thing. It's more graft, more cash. Now I'm bathing. I hope they're fucking bathing because they look filthy in that picture. On Road by Robber Hollow. Most of these kids ain't doing shit. The friend said they left him way after the barbers, but they left him at 3 to 4 p.m. Taylor's not in the picture. No, this is his friends have taken this since he's been missing. So two of his best friends are sat in this picture, tops off, drinking cider, swords, fucked up hands, stuff on the table. But that one of their best friends is missing. I can't show it for you because it's got kids in shirtless, and why? Because I'm not a nonce. I can't. I'll get in trouble. I would not want people showing my kid topless, male or female, and I can't do it on live. I wouldn't. It's on one of their stories. So you can go find it. I can't give kids names either. Yeah. Hang on a second, let me just mute because I want to say something. Yeah, the hand is fucked. But I would say that 2 of these boys were being told was crying, saying he's dead, he's dead. Now we have them saying nope. But I've told you from day one, for the boys to have lost him, left him at 3 to 4, right? 3 to 4 p.m. And then the next day at 3 to 4 p.m, they're phoning the police saying he's missing. Why would you report one of your friends missing? You're all lads. You're here, there and everywhere. Taylor was living with his mum, his nan, his dad, girls' houses, people's couches. You had no reason. I can't even tell you whose hand it is because I can't name children. Just like you would in a court of law. Because I don't, it could be from anything. He could have hurt his hand doing anything. I can only say that it's concerning that they've got a weapon in the picture. He's purposely doing this with his hand so you can see all his hand, you can see the injuries, which would lead me to believe they're somehow proud of what they're doing. I don't know. I would look into every single person in this case because we don't know. Why is my family saying yay? Oh. I don't know. Holly, who's touching your legs? Looks great. All right. Yay. Mr. Chocolate, are you still here? No. I gave him back shots. What a weird question. Oh, I said back seats. I give him back seats. More likely to give him the back seats. Give him a backy. Weird messages halfway through a live. So people keep asking what I think's happened. It's very hard in a case like Taylor's, right? Because normally, right, in a case where somebody's missing, I would have definite feelings about kind of where we would need to look. I believe something has happened to Taylor, something bad. I believe there are several circles of people in Taylor's life that may have had motive to do this. Now, some are from the people that he calls friends, because sometimes our greatest enemies are those that sit with us, that sit at the table with us. We also know that kids right now, I'm a bad man, so I'm selling this, I'm a G, I live the life I'm doing, everything I say I do in the, it's just crazy, right? Kids are little dickheads right now, and unfortunately you get lots of little dickheads, and Taylor's trying to assert his masculinity all the time. At some point someone's going to say fuck that, right? Honestly, we've got knife crime and stuff right now in situations like this where someone who's bigger and tougher and more muscular than their friends, all of a sudden you ain't, because someone's got a blade or something, you ain't, right? Then we have situations where mum's around a lot of bad people. It could be about her debt, his debt. He also is going around smashing people's windows. There are a lot of people that aren't going to be fucked with, right? There are a lot of people that aren't going to have someone mess with them, especially a 14-year-old. I'll tell you, there was, I won't tell you what because I think it's not my place to do so, but at the beginning of the video where Taylor is being beaten up in the street by the man, there are some very worrying words used about he deserves this because, and with those situations, obviously local people that are not telling me certain information, that obviously there may have been some things. There's so many people here. I do believe that at some point mum is aware, perhaps. So there was a video I was given that happened a month before. Yeah, I'll have a look in a bit. I've got to just check. I've still got it. I should have it. I did have a screenshot of this, so I'll go from messages. There was a time when we got handed a video. It was a 1 minute 36 video of him fighting outside of his mum's house in the month before he went missing. But it's full-grown men fighting him, and people are screaming, "He's 14, he's 14." And the man says, "I don't give a fuck if he's 14 after what he's done." Thank you, G. Thank you so much. So then you'd have to question, you know, there's lots of people, if you're in a certain kind of way of life and someone disrespects you, you have two choices. Have no one take you seriously or make an example. There's a lot of full-grown men who Taylor was bigger than who are not going to accept being put in their place, have their property or themselves smashed up by a 14-year-old kid. So that is also an open lead. Where have you seen that video, Bex? I don't know why anyone would want to actually personally see the video of a 14-year-old being beaten up, so I won't be providing it. I'll be protecting Taylor on this occasion. But I have passed it to his dad, who hadn't seen it, and to the police. Oh, Bex, his dad has it then. I didn't realise it was you, sorry. His dad has it. I can't say who gave it me, though, because I would always keep people safe. Yeah, sorry. If Bex, I'll send it you. I didn't realise. I'll send it you on WhatsApp. I didn't realise it was you, his auntie. I'll send it you. Do you want to see it though? It's not very nice. Are you sure? I'll send you after live. Can you send me a message quickly on WhatsApp to say hi, so you come to the top of my messages, because I've got about 500 people messaging me this week, and then I'll send it over. I just get worried in this case that we are getting into we're nearly at a whole month now, and at this point we're running out of leads, and we're running out of being able to. I think there's possibilities with the fair. We have to bear that in mind. I also think there's been quite a fair few sightings around the Weymouth area, so I do believe that he could. If we look at like the interview we looked through again with Mum this morning, we have to imagine there may be an occasion where he's just gone, fuck this. Like, that life isn't good right now and I don't want to be here. It's split after Barnstaple, half to Newquay, half to Weymouth. So Weymouth is somewhere where we've seen at least 2 or 3 sightings this week. What do you think? I find it hard because we've got family in here to even state it, but I don't think the outcome's going to be great at this point, because we are into a time now where there's been no contact, no communication. I'd like to keep the hope still that Taylor is fine. But the more I see these nasty people involved, these people with previous and stuff, the more I listen. The more I see Mum's kind of wording, I get very, very upset. Oh, I know that woman. Let me have a look. Let me get her. Donna, don't be coming into my lives and then running over to Ginger Gemini's saying the most awful things about me. But I've always been very nice to you, and I did congratulate you when you were the winning horse last year at the Grand National. I was very supportive of you and even gambled on you. So please don't go in there and say weird things about me. I find it very disrespectful, especially when you've been in here this morning. If you don't like me, don't follow me, and certainly stop looking through people's windows like that. Your neighbours said stop. There's no need for her to be going into other people's lives and saying horrendous things about me. And before you say there's no need for that, you haven't seen the things she's been saying, and I have. And so I can absolutely say whatever the fuck I like, because she didn't have to come in here and be a dickhead to me, did she? So yeah, there is every need for it, right? You haven't seen the comments I've just been sent. I will always stick up for myself. I need to find the message from last night that I was looking at. I want to show you the hand. No, it wasn't. It was this lady. No, so it would have been just before this message. People always expect me to be really nice, but just take loads of shit all the time, and I just don't want to do that. I don't have to do that, to be fair. What is that? So it must have been. No. If you were the person that sent me the message I'm looking for, tell me. And if you're not, don't. Oh, okay, Jolly Rach, I thought you said I'd been a bitch. I was a little bit, do you know what I mean? But I get fed up of it. Every time I'm live, I have the same person come to me, and you know who it is. They just... And that other woman, we were friends on here. Like, so I follow her, she follows me, she comes to the live. And these people just don't think you'll ever see it. And she'd quite happily have come back in here and started talking to me like, how are you? And I just haven't got the patience for it right now. I can't find the message. Oh, is that it? Oh, got it. So this is the picture of the mum posted on social media of him being missing originally. I blocked her now, yeah. We will no longer be good neighbours. Yeah. I don't deserve that shit. Like, honestly, even right now, Ginger Gemini has tried to side up with... Oh, fuck my life. She's tried to side with mum, right, in this situation, despite everything you've just heard, and make me out to be a bad person. But actually, you're siding with someone who didn't safeguard their son, who, had social service involved, a lot like Ginger Gemini with her children for drugs. So it's clear why you two get on. But I'm not having other people slagging me off. Like, I always cover every case with all my heart. Alex was in here today, and he was in here last night thanking me for covering Taylor's case, and that's all that really matters. I don't give a fuck what this ginger twat thinks about me if actually the family think I'm doing all right. And the only person who doesn't like me covering this case is the person whose lies I'm calling out. I can't remember her name now. Something called Donna with a fringe. So this one, this picture, this is the original picture of Taylor, right? But look at the hand. So there's Photoshop in there. His fingers look all deformed, which could be... Look, there's a big gap here where it's missing. And then when you look up here, it's missing here too. And the skin's off. So it's almost like he's been airbrushed into the... Yeah, but his hand can't be broken, so he's missing a big triangle that's covered with thing. It's like he's been... look at the thing. It's like he's been airbrushed onto the picture. He's been made into the barber shop. Like, if you put him into the barber shop, right, with a trim, it's going to look differently than him going there for something else. It's definitely Photoshop. No one can tell me anything else, because look at bits missing. Look at the even here, like the lines are all weird, and then you've got this bit missing here. His hands see through. It's like he's borrowed his mum's invisibility cloak, and then all his hands are squared off, like someone's cut that bit of the picture off. The thumb as well. So why would you have a Photoshop picture for the first missing persons? I don't get it. I do think I'm going to show it because it proves what Zoe said again is wrong, but also it proves what may have happened a little bit. Thank you, Beth. Thank you so much. So I'm going to show you a screenshot now. This is between Zoe and someone else when she's talking about what they're waiting for forensics to come back on with what Taylor may have been taken. But she has the physical bottle of it in her house. So, what, another forensics come back yet? That's insane. Sorry, my battery went last night. I couldn't find a charger. And then she shows them the blue stuff, which could be in Taylor's hands because it looks like a man's hands. It could be in someone else's. Remember, she said she had a blue vape, but you didn't. You had the blue liquid for the vape. And in connection with Mazza and stuff we were talking about, I think it's bizarre that you aren't choosing to put that on the internet, but you do have that. So you're waiting for forensics to come back on what? And we now know that Mum has mixed up two things that are true. So, you know, Taylor shouting, I've got blue stuff in my veins. He went directly from a property on Bear Street, which I don't know which one, and then went into the Eberly House pub where he was thrown out for screaming, I've got blue stuff in my veins, I'm fucking. So now we know that actually the lead of which I've been saying all along, what did he go back to that property for? What happened to him in that property? Why did he go back to that property? Isn't it weird how you're waiting forensics on something and you're like this? In regards to, and then later on you say someone passed straight out for taking a blue vape, blue stuff. Like you're showing people it, right? This comes off the back of many people telling me this week that she had this blue vape juice and me saying, nah, because she said a blue vape, like I can't go against that because I don't have any proof or evidence to say otherwise. I would find this really highly concerning. I know, Paddy, and that's where Mum lives on Bear Street because she said in the live, oh, I live on Bear Street. And we know that Eberly House, the pub that she says he was seen in later that night, no, you know he was in the pub because it's in the same street. And he had left the home. And part of me now wonders whether when somebody kept pointing it out earlier and people kept saying, why did she keep saying that she went to Jamie's other property that night? Because if my son had taken something in my property and then was walking around the streets shouting, I'm fucking invincible, no one can take me on, I'd want to get the fuck out of there as well. I'd want to get as far away from it. Well, I wouldn't. I'd be phoning an ambulance for my son, but you know what I mean. If you were this way inclined, you would very quickly be moving away from that property. This, to me, is so bloody concerning. Especially with what I was telling you guys earlier about the bottles of Maz and all the warnings I put out. So I was just saying that it came across my inbox today that Zoe has been telling people that she's waiting for forensics and it's on this blue liquid, which is in the hand of someone in her property, right? We're waiting for the forensics on this. And so when I said to you guys, and when I've been slagged off all over the internet saying the only way she would know what was in that bottle was if someone around her would give that to Taylor. The only way she would know he had this in his system was if someone around her had given it to Taylor. The 3 friends that she keeps alluding to, having been spiked, they took Ket at home. They didn't take this, right? So now we have to consider other situations. But personally, for me, if this was somebody else showing you this bottle, I'd be like, someone fucking sent me this, they give it to my fucking son. It'd be all over that page. I'd be fucking so outraged because my son's missing. I've got this bottle of stuff waiting for forensics on. This is bullshit. Absolute bullshit. We've got Taylor missing and we've got Mum saying, I'm at the Iron Bridge with night vision camera. And then you're saying, what happened? The forensics come back yet? That's insane. Sorry, my battery went last night. I couldn't find a charger. And then her going, doo-doo. Like, it's mad. And her saying, like, oh, one of my friends that night, I saw them with a blue vape. They were spiked and they literally fell straight down. Thank you, Karen. But was that her friend or was that Taylor? Was that Taylor? Because isn't it weird how he's out in the Eberly pub, which is right on your doorstep, saying he's got blue stuff in his veins, and you have a physical blue bottle in your hand. Tell me that is not connected. Yeah, so we now know, Emma, because I've just spoken to someone who is very good close friends with Taylor, that it wasn't in a CCTV in a shop that night that she'd been offered. She'd been offered the CCTV. It was in their local pub that's on the same street as she lives in. Taylor was thrown out that night because he was screaming, I'm invincible, I've got blue stuff running through my veins. So that is true. People saw that. So this at this point was her sending a message to someone saying, waiting for forensics back on this. So you must have known. You must have, because I've said this time and time again, I've been slagged off all over the internet, all over Facebook, right, for making 2 very distinct things. How did Mum know what he'd been spiked with? How did her friend later on end up being spiked with the exact same thing, right? And why did Taylor go back to the property that night? Why are we so convinced that he was at this place? There's no evidence of him ever being at the fair that night. His friends say he didn't go to the fair that night. We don't have anything. She goes, he was at a pub that night. I don't know how he afforded to get in there. We already said you gave him money for something. We know it wasn't the fair. He didn't go fair that night. Well, this adds a whole different layer, doesn't it? whatever's in here is killing children. It could be that he's taken this, he's gone into the Eberly house, and he's saying, oh, I'm invincible, then he's gone back home to her and Jamie and he's fucking kicking off, I'm invincible, try and kill me, and someone's done it. Or he's taken this and he's gone down. She seemed convinced that it was PCP, cocaine, it was ketamine. How would you be convinced of that unless you knew who had put the stuff in the bottle? Yeah, Toledo, of course I can. I'll recap for anyone coming in. So today we played back the live. We talked about how the mum had said that Taylor was saying he had blue stuff running through his veins. He was running around the town saying he was invincible. And then mum said later on she had a blue vape she had bought a blue vape. Her friend tried it first and he collapsed. And then when I came off live, someone said, oh, don't worry, Rob's, obviously it'll be done. The police are aware of this anyway. The person who gave this to me gave it to the police first. So I know it's with the police. This only came up because they watched the live today and said, what are you talking about, that blue juice? Do you know about the blue juice? I said, I don't know about the blue juice. No, can you show me what you've got? And this is a post that Zoe was out searching. She messaged her friend and her friend said, look, my battery went. And they said, for your forensics come back. And she went, what on this? So now we know that, at some point within Taylor's household, they had a bottle of blue vape juice. Not the vape that his mum said. You had the chemical. This is a 14-year-old kid, man. What fucking chance did he stand? What chance did he possibly fucking stand? If this was an image that somebody else had given to her and said, look, this is what Taylor took that night, then you would have blasted it all over. Yeah, the landlord guy sells 24-hour vapes and drink. This is mum's picture of blue vape juice. In the case of Taylor Charlton. It's weird how she used the thing in the live. Well, we know this is the new drug Maz, which is a mixture of drugs such as spice, fentanyl, all of those things that kids are being spiked with. Kids have died this week from this. 10 children at one beach got taken to A&E. You can literally take one vape of this. Please, if you don't know about this drug, go and watch my video.